Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if God like Naruto trains in a secret place part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. In the middle of a dark night, the earth shook, tsunamis were hitting hard, the ground started to crack and started to split, even the animals were going crazy, the night had took the sky. Two men were in the middle of a wasteland waiting for someone or something. Both men were the same heights. They both had cream-pale skins with horns coming out of their head. The difference was one had long white hair with pale white eyes wearing a pure white kimono. He was wielding a shakujo staff and a katana. The other had short, spiky, short-length pale red hair with purple sclera eyes with black ripples, and in the middle was a small pupil. He also wielded a shakujo and a katana. These two men were Hagoromo and Hamura Otsutsuki. Both of the men were waiting for what's coming towards them, for they knew it would be their first and maybe last battle. Rumble. 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 The sound were getting closer and closer. The brothers were preparing for their challenge. Slowly a giant black beast with 10 tails rose up from the ground. Its giant red eye, which had a 4-circle ripples with 9 toma, looked down at the two humans and let out a powerful roar that shook the earth and mountains. Ruawayaha. The two men had activated their Dojutsu and summoned up a large amount of their chakra as they took a hold of their weapon. Both of the men charged forward as they clashed with the beast. 3 days later. Somewhere in a nearby river, a woman was sitting at a rock under the moonlight. She had stood 5'7". She had smooth cream-like glass skin, and whenever she was under the moonlight she glowed up like a goddess. She was wearing a white high-collar princess kimono which had lines weaving with tomo designs. She had pure white eyes with long snow-white hair that almost touched the ground. She also had horns growing out of her head that looked like rabbit eats. She had a red ripple eye that had 9 tomos that was in the middle of her forehead. Her fingernails were long and her lips had a shiny ruby red color that matched the color of her nails. This was Kaguya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess and the mother of Hagoromo and Hamura Otsutsuki, the very first person to have chakra from eating the Shinju fruit from the Shinju tree, the source that held chakra. Kaguya right now was near a river. In her she carried a large basket in one hand, and on the other arm she carried a baby that was wrapped up in a small white blanket. The baby's skin was like Kaguya's. He had silver bright eyes with red short straight hair with 2 tiny horns out of his head. This was Kaguya's secret third son, Jin Otsutsuki. You see, years ago, Kaguya had left to town to gather supplies and return home, but it seems destiny had led her to unexpectedly meet someone. Flashback a year ago. Kaguya had just arrived in town. She had hid her horns and eyes under a transformation so the people didn't freak out. Instead of white hair, it was raven black that went to her middle back, and her eyes had turned into a silver dark color. She wore a black kimono with her skin light pale. She had got the supplies she needed and went to leave as soon as possible. To her it wasn't safe for her to be around mortals. Not that she did not fear them or anything, she just didn't want anybody discovered her chakra power or expose her to the humans. Few minutes later she was at the edge of town preparing to. She was turning to leave. She heard a voice. "Excuse me, miss," a voice called out. As she turned around as someone called her, she looked at the man. As she turned face him, what she saw she could not describe. In all her travels so many mortal men have fell for her beauty and have tried to speak to her, but she knew they were never worthy. Of course, though, she needed a man to give her strong children, and she did years ago, when she met a rich noble man. After putting the man under an illusion she had her way with him, later on killing him. But that changed when she saw this man. The man was around his 20s, he stood 5 feet 9 inches, he had tan skin with a pair of bright silver eyes, he had a red straight short hair. Imagine Naruto hair red when he met his mom in Shippuden. He wore a vest with a fishnet underneath him that matched his baggy black pants. He also had his right arm wrapped up in white tape, while the left arm had no sleeves except wearing an open finger glove. Kaguya was stunned looking at the man. In all her life she has never met any humans who she would consider handsome. To her this man was beyond handsome. She had started to feel a small warmth feeling in her heart. She had never felt like this before in her entire life. What is this feeling? Kaguya thinking to herself. "You drop this," the man said as he held out a tomo necklace. Kaguya's eyes went wide as she saw the necklace. It was no ordinary tomo necklace. This tomo was made from Kaguya's yin-yang chakra, which held half of her other chakra if anything were to happen, but something told her that someone may need it in the future. She slowly grabbed the necklace from the man, and as she grabbed it she felt his strong hands. From the way the man is dressed and looks she instantly knew he was some kind of merchant. When she realized she was holding his hand still she let go and looked away as she blushed. "Thank you," Kaguya said softly as she turned her head. Her hair blocked her face so she didn't show her now small red cheeks. When the man saw Kaguya he instantly thought she was the most beautiful person he ever seen. He was blushing as he felt Kagaya's smooth hand when she grabbed the necklace from him, but she didn't let go for a minute until she realized what she was doing and she pulled back looking away. Ryu had a big blush when she was holding his hand, but soon he snapped back to reality. You're welcome. My name is Ryu Miss the man said, trying to guess her name. Oh, Kagaya exclaimed. I'm sorry, I'm Kagaya. Kagaya greeted the man. End flashback. After that fateful day, both Ryu and her had started to spend more time with each other, getting to know each other, but of course Kagaya had not tell Ryu who she really was until she can fully trust him. The months had passed by and the relationship started to grow sooner as they got to know each other for months. They both knew they loved each other. Although Kagaya never understood love, but eventually Kagaya had trust Ryu enough to reveal to him who she really was. Another flashback. Kagaya was in Ryu's living room ready to reveal to him who she really was. Ryuko and I have something to tell you, Kagaya said to Ryu nervously. Although she was a goddess and should not have fear, this was her lover, the very first man and mortal she wants to be with. What is it, my Heim? Princess, Ryu asked as he stroked Kagaya's soft cheek. Ever since he met Kagaya, the two grew close, and soon enough, she gave him a chance, the two. Ryu, Kagaya said, still nervous. Kagaya had got up from the chair and was in front of Ryu. She closed her eyes as she let her transformation fall. Her hair had turned back into a long snow-white color, her horns grew out and her red tomo eye was revealed, her black kimono had turned back into her high-collar white princess kimono. As the transformation dropped, she slowly opened her eyes, revealing that her eyes were no longer silver but pale white. My name is Kagaya Otsutsuki, Kagaya said. She then had later explained to Ryu who she really was and about her chakra powers and about her two sons. After she was done revealing to Ryu who she really was, she watched him, just stared at her shocked. She was getting a little nervous on what was he thinking. Ryu slowly got up from the chair and went towards Kagaya. As he was close, he stopped and just put his right hand on her cheek. You are not my princess, Ryu said. Kagaya felt her heart and world were crumbling as those words left his mouth, but soon it stopped as he continued to talk. You're my spring rabbit princess, Ryu said softly as he stroked her cheek. I got that nickname from Sealed Legacy by Psycho G, thank you. For the first time since her birth with her two children, she was shedding tears. You're not mad? Kagaya asked as tears were come down to her cheeks. Never, you're even more beautiful than ever, even I don't feel like I'm not worthy of being with you, Ryu said softly. Kagaya just shook her head. No, you are worthy. The moment I saw you. Ever since the day I met you, I felt something I have never felt before in my life. Till this day I still feel it. Kagaya had stopped talking as she took Ryu's hand and placed it on where her heart is. Here, she had said softly. Ryu looked shocked. She admitted she loves him, but soon that shocked face turned into a smile that Kagaya loved to see. He had looked into her pale white eyes and placed his hand on her cheek. As he spoke, it's called love, my princess, it's called love, Ryu said softly as he brought his lips to her soft ruby lips. As the kiss was made, Kagaya was surprised at first, but soon she started to let him kiss her. She then opened her mouth, allowing Ryu entrance. Their tongues were swishing around each other for dominance. Ryu sucked on Kagaya's tongues and heard her moan. Ryu had picked up Kagaya and moved to the bedroom. The next morning Kagaya woke up as she had a night she would never forget as she learned about love. She had turned around to see her lover's face, but to her surprise he was gone. A note was left behind stating that he'd be back in 2 months. She understood as he was a merchant, and he would be traveling all around the land, so he would be gone for a while, but she promised herself to wait for him. A couple months later he did not come back, which was strange. The letter he had wrote to her had clearly said he'd be back in 2 months. He should have been back by now, Kagaya had thought, but soon her thoughts were cut off as she felt a strong chakra signature in her stomach. Okay, young one, will go eat, Kagaya said to her now slightly bulged stomach as she rubbed it. Kagaya was 3 months pregnant, and it would be a boy as Kagaya predicted. When she found out she was pregnant, she was excited to tell Ryu as they would settle down as a family, something she has been wanting for a long time. She would wait for him no matter how long it takes. 2 more months had passed by and Ryu was still not back yet. Kagaya was getting a little worried. She had thought he would be back months ago, but Kagaya still had not heard anything. Soon she had went to an office where the merchants would report after they come back. Kagaya came up in front. Excuse me, Kagaya said. The man looked up at Kagaya. Yes, miss, can I help you? The man asked. Yes, my fiancé name was Ryu. He was a merchant, and I haven't heard from him in 4 months. He was supposed to be back those 2 months ago. Kagaya finished explaining. Let me see, miss. The man said as he went into a drawer and took out a folder that had Ryu's name and picture. The man looked over it, and as he read it he had just sigh at the end. I'm sorry, miss, but Ryu's wagon was ambushed by some mercenary and captured, but the hostages were never seen again, most likely killed. I'm sorry. the man said sadly. It was always hard telling family, friends, fiancés, that their relative or loved ones were killed, and by the look on her face this was a very special person to her. As Kaguya heard what the man said, her body started to shake uncontrollably, tears threatened to fall down at any time. Kaguya had quickly left the place. The man can only sigh as he really felt sorry for the poor women. End flashback again. After that day she cried non-stop for the loss of her loved one. She was not only sad for herself but for the baby too, for losing its father before being brought into the world. She had lost faith in the world, they took her loved one away, now she was gonna destroy something they hold precious. She was thinking until she saw her baby just looking at her with a smile. Kaguya couldn't help but smile back. The baby had definitely looked like Ryu except for the skin and horns. She had a feeling that her son would be powerful, more powerful than herself and his brothers. ROAHHHHHH. A powerful roar was heard all across the land. Kaguya knew her two sons were powerful enough to defeat the Jubi. What she had never told them that when they sealed Jubi away she dies. Because without the pure Shinju tree, the chakra in her body would give out in seconds. Kaguya had looked at her son as she sets him in the big basket and placed the scroll in the blanket. Tears were flowing down Kaguya's cheeks hard. Moments later she feels a small hand on her cheek. She looks at her son as he looked like he was trying to wipe the tears. Kaguya held her child's hand and smiled. She had pushed his hand back to him. She slowly went around her neck and took off her single tomo necklace. Here, sweetie, this is Mama's special necklace she made. Kaguya whispered softly to her son as she put the necklace in her son's little hand. It holds half of my other chakra. Whenever you need me, I'll be there when the time comes. You may not understand me now, but I know you will in the future. Kaguya whispered as she ran her fingers through her son's red hair. The earth started to shake and rumble, but moments later it had settled down. She knew the boys had defeated the Jubi and were ready to seal it away forever. Kaguya had felt her body starting to grow weak as it was almost time. Kaguya grabbed the basket and walked slowly to the river. She knelt down, gently looking at her son one last time. The baby had started to cry as if he knew what was gonna happen. Kaguya hushed Jean, shhh, it's okay. Kaguya comforting her son. She had then sang a song to Jean that she used to hear back in the other world when she was a little girl. Soon the baby fell asleep. I love you, my Jean-kun, Kaguya had whispered as she kissed the baby's forehead. Kaguya had slowly pushed the basket in the river. Goodbye, Jean-kun, Kaguya said to herself as the river carried the basket away. As Kaguya saw the basket float away, she turned around just in time to see her son Hagoromo trap the Jubi in a planet-like sphere, sending it to the moon. As the sphere was sent to the moon, Kaguya's body was giving out. Her body started to disintegrate slowly into sparkles. She smiled one last time as she looked at where her baby was floating down. As she was about to leave the world, Jean-kun, be safe, Kaguya said in her last thought as she dissolved away. Somewhere, a man in a straw hat with a black cloak had stopped in a nearby river to refill his can and continue on to his journey. As he was about to leave, he sees a basket floating down the river. Being quick, he took off his cloak and straw hat as he jumped into the river, swimming towards the basket. As he got a hold of the basket, he swam back to shore. As the man was back at shore, he had set the basket down on a flat stone and went to dry himself off. Moments later, the man had returned as he was dry. He walks forward and sits down and checks what's inside the basket. As he opens the basket, the first thing he sees was a baby that was wrapped up in a white baby blanket. The baby had red hair. His skin was a smooth cream glass skin-like color which had reminded him of someone. He saw the baby having two little horns out of his head, but as the baby opened his eyes, they were bright silver color. The baby had stared at the man while the man stared back. As the man looked at the baby, he saw something in its hand. As he opened it, he saw the object. He slowly grabbed it, and had revealed to be a necklace he recognized. Why would the baby have this necklace? Thinking to himself. Soon enough his thoughts were broken off, as the baby had started to cry. While the baby was crying, acting on instinct, the man held the baby and had started to comfort him. He gently rocked the baby. Shhh, it's okay, the man had said softly. The baby had then stopped crying and had looked at him with his bright silver eyes. As both were looking at each other, the baby had fell asleep in the man's arms. As the man had gently put the baby back in the basket so the baby didn't freeze, he had made campfire and had set the basket near him so it could stay warm. The man was just looking at the necklace, thinking of the person it belonged to. He had removed his cloak and made it into a pillow as he took his straw hat off. He had red hair with a tan skin with silver eyes. He was wearing a samurai armor, with a long black sleeve shirt. He wore dark baggy pants with blue ninja sandals. This was Ryu, the man and the loved one of Kaguya and the supposed dead traitor. You see, Ryu was on his way back home, but his wagon was under attack by mercenaries. But Ryu was no ordinary merchant. No, you see, Ryu was a former sword master, and has been for his whole life. He may have not been practicing in years, but it didn't mean his skills were rusted. As Ryu was fighting off the mercenaries, he didn't realize that one of them had slipped right behind him. Ryu was knocked out. Later on, Ryu had awoken and was held captive for months until he had made escape and freeing the people that were captured. Since his escape, he had traveled to be back with his princess. As he was thinking, something happened to him. He felt his body warming up, energy was flooding through him, he felt as if he can now take on the mercenaries again. Soon the feeling had went away. As Ryu felt back to normal, he had again checked on the baby. As he expected, the baby was still asleep, but underneath the blanket he saw was a scroll. As he took the scroll, he had unrolled it, and had started to read it. Dear reader, my name is Kagaya Otsutsuki, and the baby you have is my child Jin Otsutsuki. Ryu's eyes widened in surprise as he found a letter that was written from Kagaya. As he had then continued reading, he had not only discovered that his princess was dead, but the baby was his and Kagaya's. As he finished the letter, he had let a single tear fell from his eye onto the scroll, only for it to be wiped away by a small hand. As he looked at the baby with his now open silver-bright eyes, he gently took the baby in his arms and had hold the necklace above the baby, which made Jin giggled as he tried to reach up the necklace. Ryu smiled at his son. Don't worry, Jin, your old man's here now. Ryu had thought to himself as he chuckled as he played with the baby. Present time, Konoha no Sato. The Hidden Leaf Village. One of most famous ninja village in all the Element Nation. Created by the Senju clan leader, the former Shodame Hokage, the late Hashirama Senju, and by his former best friend, the former Uchiha clan leader, one of the strongest shinobi to ever had lived, the late Madara Uchiha. Not only was Konoha famous or known for that, but it has also had made some of the strongest ninjas in history. The Sandame Hokage, or Sarutobi Hiruzen, was an elderly man around his 60s. Despite his age, he could still give a run for your money. He was one of the 4 ninjas who fought throughout 3 of the great ninja wars back in his young days with his 3 teammates. Not only that, but he was one of the 4 students to learn under the first and second Hokage. Years later, he was chosen to be the Sandame from his sensei, the 9-dame Hokage, the late Tobirama Senju, which Hiruzen happily took, swearing to protect his village, family, friends, loved ones. Hiruzen was a peaceful man that didn't like going to war. To be truthful, he hated the war. He was the opposite of his ex-teammate and rival Danzo Shimura. But when a threat comes to harm his village, family and friends, he changes and shows the enemies how he fought throughout the 3 of the great ninja wars and had got him the title that no one has held except his sensei Hashirama, Shinobi no Kami. God of Shinobi, Hiruzen was also known as the Professor due to his knowledge he learned and studied throughout his 3 decades in war. He was mostly known for training Konoha's 3 legendary Sannin, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade Senju, princess of the Senju clan and granddaughter of the late first Hokage, but what people mostly forgot was that she was also granddaughter to the clan leader of the Uzumaki clan and was the first ever 9-tailed fox Jinchuriki, the late Mito Uzumaki. But Konoha now was mostly known for having the Yandame Hokage, or Konoha's Yellow Flash, Minato Namikaze. Until 14 years ago, the 9-tailed fox attacked the Hidden Leaf Village. Minato had sacrificed himself to seal the 9-tailed fox away in a newborn baby, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki was an orphan and Jinchuriki of the 9-tailed fox. Ever since day 1, Naruto's life has been a living hell. He was constantly bullied, glared, ignored, even denied of food. Ever since being kicked out at the orphanage at 4 years old, Naruto had fought and clawed his way to where he is and what he is today, a proud Konoha ninja. Naruto had always wanted to become Hokage for attention at first, until his surrogate grandfather the Sandame taught him the purpose and why people like the Shodame and Nidame choose to become Hokage, the will of fire. At first Naruto didn't understand the will of fire, but his surrogate grandfather told him, Naruto, the will of fire is not something I say to the village because I'm Hokage. I say it because the will of fire is true. No matter what, you must always protect the ones you care for. When you fight for your village, you also fight for its people and loved one. You use that and I guarantee you will become a great Hokage than the first, second, fourth, and maybe myself. Since then Naruto had trained every day till he dropped, promising himself to be Hokage and protect his village and people, like his idol did the Yandame Hokage, or should I say his father. Yes, Naruto is the son of the Yandame Hokage, but this was declared a SSS rank secret. You see, Minato had fell in love with a woman who came from the Whirlpool country from the Uzumaki clan before it was destroyed, named Kushina Uzumaki, the second Jinchuriki of the 9-tailed fox. Before Kushina had left the Whirlpool, her leader and grandmother Mito Uzumaki had transferred the 9 tails into her, as she had a bloodline that would hold down the Kyuubi if it ever tried to escape. She was kidnapped by Kumo as they found out about her bloodline, but soon she was rescued by Minato, who defeated the kidnappers. Since then Minato and Kushina had got together, and years later they had gotten married. Later on, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze was born. It was a happy moment for the family, until a masked man had attacked them and had taken the nine-tailed fox out of Kushina, unleashing it on Konoha. Having no other choice, Minato had to seal the nine-tailed fox into his son using the Death Reaper seal. After Minato's sacrifice, the Sandaime had told the council of Naruto's status as a Jinchuriki to be seen as a hero like Minato wished, but the civilians had called for his death instantly. Soon the status of Naruto being a Jinchuriki was declared as rank secret from the villagers, and that the younger generation are forbidden from hearing it. But it never lasted long when someone from the council had told someone, and soon it spread. Soon enough the village had all knew and had told their children that he was a demon, or a monster, or a troublemaker, causing the children to avoid and ignore him, or bully him. Naruto may had a hard life, but you know what they say, it's your choice to get up and continue life or stay down, and be dwelled in the past, as he would say. Naruto had failed graduation 3 times as the teachers sabotaged his work. When he failed the 4th time, he was lied and tricked by Mizuki, who was an academy teacher who revealed to be working for Orochimaru, into stealing the forbidden scroll. After learning a jutsu from the scroll, Naruto succeeded into doing a Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow Clone Jutsu, Iruka Umino, who was Naruto's favorite teacher and one of the 5 people who he trusts. The ones Naruto could trust were the Ikarukas, the Sandaime, Iruka, and surprisingly Hinata Hyuga. Mizuki had revealed to Naruto about his Jinchuriki status, but he later regretted almost killing Iruka as Naruto summoned 1000 Shadow Clone and beating the living daylights out of Mizuki. Soon enough Naruto earned his headband from his teacher, and to make it personal, Iruka gave Naruto his own headband as a present for his surrogate little brother. After that day, Naruto was assigned to be on Team 7 with his teammates, Sasuke Uchiha, the last member of the Uchiha clan, Sakura Haruno. She came from a normal civilian family. Finally his sensei Kakashi Hatake, son of the White Fang of Konoha, the late Tsukumo Hatake. The first thing Naruto had thought was, this team is gonna crash and burn hard. Naruto knew about Sasuke's ego problem and knew he wouldn't accept help from anyone. He may not understood about Sasuke losing his family, but he did understood about him being alone. After all, Naruto was alone all his life, so he did understood the feeling. But if Sasuke doesn't accept help or be a teammate, he could end up killed or get the team killed. Then there is Sakura Haruno. She was known as the biggest Uchiha fangirl and crush. Whatever Sasuke said, Sakura obeys and does it. To Naruto it was just sad. The girl needed a kick of reality soon. Finally his sensei Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi was a prodigy just like Sasuke. He had graduated early and made Chunin in a couple years. He was put on a team with his sensei Minato Namikaze with his teammates Obito Uchiha and Rin. After his father's suicidal death, Kakashi had changed, as he said those who abandon the mission are trash. Soon though he had changed when his teammate Obito has sacrificed himself to blow up the Kanobi Bridge and had been crushed under the boulder. Before dying, Obito had gave Kakashi his left Sharingan eye to replace Kakashi's damaged left eye. But the war was far from finished. A couple months later, after Obito's death, Rin was captured by Kirigakure and was made into the 3-tailed Jinchuriki. But the plan was to send her back to Konoha, as the Biju would release by the time she arrives at Konoha. But Rin begged Kakashi to kill her, and at first he couldn't do it, but Rin is making a sacrifice like Obito. Kakashi had Chidori right to Rin's chest to her where her heart was, which instantly killed her. The war had ended, and years later, becoming an Umbu captain, his sensei died sealing the 9-tailed. Kakashi is the only man to be a student of the 4th Hokage, and the only member alive in Team 7. Years later Kakashi had earned the nickname Kakashi no Sharingan, or Copycat Kakashi. At first Team 7 except Kakashi had thought ninja duty was not dangerous, as they did annoying D-rank missions, but things though have changed when they did a C-rank mission to escort a bridge builder named Tazuna to the wave. But soon it had changed into an A-rank mission as they fought the Demon Brothers, and later on facing Zabuza Momochi, former member of the 7 Swordsmen, and an unknown masked teenage boy that had a Hayaton. Ice release, Kekii Genkai. The months had passed by and the team still did not get along, well except for Sakura and Naruto. After the A-rank mission, Sakura had a hit of reality. She regretted her action towards the blonde-hair orange-wearing ninja and apologized for her past actions. Naruto eventually forgave her, and both had started a friendship. Sasuke Uchiha was not seen as much, as Kakashi always took him for private stuff. Kakashi had only taught Naruto and Sakura tree climbing since the wave mission and teamwork, while Kakashi took Sasuke away for some private training. As the Chunin exams came up, Team 7 had entered and had passed the written stage, which was a nerve-wracking challenge. Then the second stage was the Forest of Death, which was a bitch. Team 7 had ran into the missing leaf ninja, the snake Sannin Orochimaru, and had their asses handed to them. Soon enough Orochimaru had branded Sasuke with the curse mark and had used the 5 elemental seal to cut Naruto off from using the 9 tails fox chakra and half of his chakra. Sakura soon had defended Naruto and Sasuke from sound ninjas that had orders to kill Sasuke. Soon enough Rock Lee arrived and had helped Sakura for a while until the mummified sound ninja had used his gauntlet to attack Lee, causing Lee to fall unconscious. Soon enough Sasuke awoke in his curse mark and had attacked the sound trio. Sasuke had broken one of the sound ninja's arms while he knocked out the other two, but Sasuke stopped the attack as Sakura hugged and begged him to stop, which had made the curse back to his neck. Naruto later had awoken and Team 7 had continued on to the tower. Soon enough they had arrived and had passed the second stage, but there were too many participants. Soon enough it was decided that they would hold a mini-tournament to see who would advance to the finals. The winners were Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara, Kankuro, Temari, Shikamaru, Neji, Shino, Dosu. Now it was time to see who would face who in the finals. Match 1, Naruto vs Neji. Match 2, Sasuke vs Gaara. Match 3, Kankuro vs Shino. Match 4, Shikamaru vs Temari. As the Hokage made a good luck speech to everyone, Naruto took off to find Kakashi. Konoha's hospital. Naruto knew Kakashi would check on Sasuke and of course teach him for the finals, but what the hell, he would try and ask at least. Naruto clenched his fist thinking of his opponent Neji Hyuga. Neji had almost had killed his cousin Hinata during the pre-fight, but luckily the senseis had stopped him. He just didn't understand. Hinata was the most kindest-hearted ninja he ever met. Sure, he thought she is a little weird, but man, sometimes when she stutters, he finds it cute. Where did that come from? Naruto thinking to himself. Shrugging it off, Naruto finally had found his sensei near Sasuke's room, which didn't surprise Naruto. Kakashi-sensei, I need your. Naruto was cut off. I know what you need, Naruto, and I can't do it. I have to train Sasuke to be ready to against Gaara. You saw what he did against Lee. Sasuke needs to be ready to fight against Gaara, Kakashi said, trying to explain to his student. Naruto was furious after hearing his, "What, Kakashi-sensei, did you not see what Neji almost did to Hinata? I need your help," Naruto yelled. Naruto, keep it down. Look, I'm really sorry, Naruto, Kakashi said, walking away to Sasuke's room, turning his head looking back at his student. Just give up, Naruto. There's next time, Kakashi said as he went to the room. Naruto stood there shocked. His own sensei telling him to give up. Did he not have faith in him? Naruto looked down for a minute, bitter chuckle. Fine, if Kakashi doesn't believe in me, I'll believe myself, but I know the Ichirukas, Gigi, Grandpa or Old Man, Iruka-sensei, Konohamaru, Sakura, Hinata-chan. Smiling at the image of the Hyuga princess, Naruto decided he would train himself. No matter what, I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way, Naruto thinking to himself, burning with determination. Naruto decided to leave the hospital until he bumped into Sakura. Hey Sakura, sorry I didn't see you, Naruto said. Oh, hey Naruto, it's fine. What are you doing here anyways? Sakura asked. Oh, I was asking Kakashi-sensei if he can train me, but I guess he's training Sasuke for the month, Naruto said, trying not to sound mad. Oh, Sakura exclaimed. She really didn't know what to think. She loved Sasuke, and yet he may need training to face against Gaara after what happened to Lee, but to abandon your student, it was just wrong. Well, maybe next time, Naruto said. Hey Sakura, I gotta go. I'll see you around, Naruto shouted as he waved and took off to his secret training ground. Sakura waved back. She turned around and continued to walk towards the front counter. Excuse me, nurse, do you know what room Rock Lee is at? Sakura asked. Secret training ground. Naruto had just arrived at a training ground. Naruto had sat down and looked at a lake. The clear crystal blue lake was sparkling up as the sun shined. It was peaceful. The old man had told him meditating would help ease his mind. After going through today, he needed to relax. Naruto sat down crisscross, taking a big inhale, and he breathed out slowly. Naruto closed his eyes and started to block out the distraction, except he can hear the lake as the fishes swam, the water running along the lake. It was nice. Mindscape. Drip. 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 Naruto seconds later opened his eyes and he was no longer at the training ground, that was for sure. The place was dark, drops of waters came from pipes. The place looked pretty much like a sewer. Not thinking through, Naruto followed the pipes thinking it would lead him out. As he reached the end he saw a light. Thinking it was the way out, Naruto headed towards it, but as he was at the end, he stopped as there were two giant gates with a paper with the kanji for seal. Naruto instantly knew what this was. Come closer, the voice said. Being cautious, Naruto knew it was a lie, but what the hell, it couldn't kill him, right? Naruto was stepping towards the gates slowly. As he got closer, a claw shot toward Naruto. The claw had stopped, and it was an inch away from piercing Naruto's skull. Naruto never moved an inch, or even flinched. Naruto was always close to death when he was chased by mobs on his birthday. He got used to it so much that he no longer was scared of dying. In the shadows, two black slit giant red eyes snapped open, and soon enough it revealed to be the nine-tailed fox. It had an orange fur human-like body and a fox head with 9 tails. The nine-tailed fox was impressed that this kid didn't even try to move or dodge it. He didn't even sense fear. Impressive kid, you didn't flinch," Kyubi replied. "I know, but after you're close to death so many times you get used to it." Naruto replying back to the fox. "I have seen your life, but I must ask, why do you continue to defend them? Don't you want to take revenge and make them suffer the way you suffered?" questioned the fox. "Chuckle, if I do that then that proves them right, it proves I'm you and you don't want that," Naruto said with a big grin. The fox would have replied back if he had something to say, which he didn't at the moment. "You're calm from people who say you're a bloodlust monster, it looks like they were mistaken," Naruto said. Kyubi had put his head down in front of his paw looking at Naruto. "I really can't do much since I'm stuck in you. We Biju usually mind our own business, we always have hid ourselves from humans for thousands of years, but years later humans had desire power, they would even go far into capturing us and use us nothing more than just weapons. I for one do not like being treated and used like a weapon." Naruto couldn't help but feel sad for the Kyubi, being sealed away and used as a weapon. It had reminded him of Haku, the masked boy that worked for Zabuza. Haku only served Zabuza as a tool, but deep down Haku saw Zabuza as a father figure. It was too late for Zabuza to realize what he meant to Haku at the end. Flashback. AMV Naruto sorrow. "Don't you care about him?" Naruto shouted in anger as hot tears were coming down his face. "He saw you as a father figure he protected until his last breath. How can you be cruel to someone who gave their life to protect you? Did you care about him, or are you really that much of a demon?" Seconds had passed by. Everything was silent, no one talked, no one made a noise, it was total silence. Soon the silence broke at the sound of a teardrop, and the tear had belonged to Zabuza Momochi. "You words cut deeper than any blade. All the stuff I said about Haku being a tool, I lied. I did care about Haku. At first I saw him as a tool, but over the years, Haku had attached to me. I was a father to him, and he was like a son to me." Zabuza stood up from the pain as he was bleeding out. "Kid, you made me realize about the mistake I made, as in return I'll kill all these maggots." Zabuza growled at the end as he tore his bandages off his face with his teeth, revealing a smirking shark teeth grin. "Kid, do you have a weapon?" Zabuza asked as he was prepared to join hell, but not without Gato first. And AMV. Naruto took out a single kunai. "Here, take it," Naruto said as he tossed the kunai to Zabuza, which he caught in his mouth. With that he charged at the bandits and thugs, slicing through every thug, showing no mercy. Zabuza had finally made it to Gato. Gato can only look in fear as he saw the eyes of the hidden mist demon. "Today you go to hell, Gato. I'll see you soon, but don't worry, I'm sure there are plenty of demons where you're going," Zabuza said as he raised his head to slice Gato's throat. Wiskulch. As Gato was about to beg for mercy, the kunai sliced through his throat clean. Holding his throat, Gato stumbled back as Zabuza kicked him off the bridge into the ocean. Zabuza had moved through the thugs and mercenaries and sees Haku's body collapsing on the floor. Naruto helped Zabuza move next to Haku. Zabuza looked at Haku with a smile as he touched his cheek. "Haku, I may not go where you're going, but know this, you always will be a son to me." "Haku, thank you, Haku. Before I go, what's your name, kid?" Zabuza trying to know the boy's name who had helped him realize about Haku. "Naruto Uzumaki, future Hokage." Chuckle, "An Uzumaki, I never imagine I see one again," Zabuza said in his last breath as he passed on to the next life. End flashback. Naruto was still thinking of what Zabuza meant when he said see one again. Does it mean I have relatives? Is there such thing as an Uzumaki clan? Naruto thinking, but what he didn't know was whenever Naruto thinks, Kyubi can hear it. "Yes, kid, there is such thing as the Uzumaki clan. They were renowned for their kenjutsu, but mostly fuinjutsu, one of the most dangerous things a ninja to master. From storage scrolls to space-time seals, the Uzumaki clan was feared throughout the nation, but some countries decided to work together and destroy the Uzumaki clan, fearing that the clan would grow too powerful and try to destroy their countries. It was fear that drove the destruction of the Uzumaki clan." Naruto was disbelief. He came from a clan that was powerful and respected, and it was destroyed because of their ridiculous fear. Naruto felt his anger rise up. Why couldn't he have a family? Was it too much to ask for? Why is it every time I get close to finding my family they're gone? Why can't I find someone to be there for me? Naruto shouted in anger, as he had tears coming down, dropping on his knees, closing his eyes to stop the tears, but it didn't stop. He pounded the floor hard, making a small crater, not caring for his hand, and bones were shattering and his knuckles bleeding. As he went to hit the ground again, a hand grabbed his wrist. You are not alone, a voice called out. Naruto opened his eyes and looked up to see an old man. The old man helped Naruto get up from his knees. The man had a few wrinkles around his eyes, his hair was short and his color was a dull red, he had a small patched goatee, he had 2 horns out of his head, he had silver bright eyes, he wore a red monk robe with silver lines down the arm sleeves, he wielded a silver monk staff and around his neck was a single black tomo necklace. Who are you? Naruto asked. Jin Kyubi said as he was shocked. Kurama, the man named Jin said with a smile. It's good to see you again, Jin said as he walked over to the fox. Naruto was just dumbstruck. Right now he was watching this man talking to the 9 tails like they were childhood friends, the fucking 9-tail fox. Can someone tell me what's going? Naruto shouted as he was trying to get the two's attention. The man turned around and faced Naruto. Oops, I forgot you were there, Jin said with a goofy grin and rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. Naruto face-fault at the answer. But to answer the question you asked, my name is Jin Uzumaki. Naruto's eyes went wide as he heard the last name. THTH, that can't be, that's my last name, but that means Naruto trying to speak but the words were caught in his throat. Yes, Naruto, I'm related to you, you are my descendant or greatest grandson, Jin answered with a smile. I have a family. Naruto looked at Jin with tears, but these were not tears of anger or sorrow but joy. Jin had put his hand on Naruto's shoulder to get his attention. Jin smiled. I've been waiting for you, Naruto Uzumaki, Jin said. How do you know my name? Asked Naruto. I have seen through your life, from the day when Kurama was sealed into you to today. I would have visited you sooner but my chakra had to reform back to me so it took a while, but as you can see I'm here, Jin said. Not that I'm happy to see a family member, but why was I called here? Naruto asked as he wiped the tears. Simple, my young descendant, I'm going to train you, Jin answered. Really? Naruto asked with hope if Jin meant it. Yes, young one, your training will start tomorrow, Jin said. Why tomorrow? Naruto pouted as he made a pout face. We need to awaken your Kekkai Genkai, Jin said in a serious voice. Wait, I have a Kekkai Genkai? Naruto asked. Jin nodded his head. Yes, you do. Naruto, sit down, I'll explain my history. Sometime later. So wait a minute, you're saying you were brothers with the Rikudo Sennin, the man who created ninjutsu? Sigh for the 5th time. Yes, Jin said while rubbing his forehead. Sorry, I didn't mean to ask so many times, it's just so surprising. Naruto laughed as he rubbed his head. That's alright, but back to serious matter, my 2 brothers each had a Kekkai Genkai but they were different, both of them each had a dojutsu from my mother. Hagoromo had the Rinnegan and my other brother Hamura had the Byakugan. Wait, if your brothers had those, what did you have? Naruto asked. Jin smiled at his descendant. When I was born, my eyes were regular bright silver like right now. I thought I didn't inherit my mother's eyes or her power, but soon enough I found out I did. What was it? Asked Naruto. The Yin-Yang released one of the most powerful Kekkai Genkai to exist, even far more powerful than my brother's Rinnegan, if you can master it, Jin said. Kit, Aji, Jin is right. With the Yin-Yang release your arsenal and ninjutsu are far more powerful. You'll also be able to use sub-elements, which can give you a big advantage. Even your shadow clone will be powerful. For example, if you make a shadow clone with the Yin-Yang release, you basically make another you, a real one though, and the only way to defeat it is to kill it. Like I said, another you, and with the sub-element you'll be able to recreate elements that have thought had been lost for centuries, Kyubi said. Whoa! Naruto said, stunned at how powerful his Kekkai Genkai really is. So your real name is Kurama? Naruto asked. The fox stood there silent, not answering for a few moments until, yes, that was what the old man named me when I was created, Kurama said. It's time to awaken your bloodline, Naruto, Jin said. Naruto nodded his head. Right, so what do I do? Naruto asked. Jin placed his hand on top of Naruto's head, and as he did that he started to send his chakra to Naruto's body. At first Naruto felt pain as if a hot kitchen knife was digging into his skull. Naruto's hair was now spiky long blonde hair with red streaks. Soon the pain had stopped and he had started to feel warmth as the pain went away. Naruto had stood up and had never felt better than before. I think it's time for you rest, young one. Tomorrow we have a big day ahead, Jin said. Naruto nodded and looked around. How do I get out? Naruto asked. I'll handle it, Kurama said as he blew Naruto away. What do you think of him? Jin asked Kurama. The boy has a strong spirit. Usually people that has suffered like that boy would usually lose their mind and wouldn't hesitate to use my power for his or her selfishness, but the boy is different. He never wanted my power. Hell, a lot of people would love to abuse my power, but this boy doesn't. He has earned respect, just like your granddaughter Mito and great-granddaughter Kushina, Kurama replied. Jean nodded. The boy will become more powerful than me and my brothers combined. Chuckle, he has both Mito-chan and Kushina-chan determination, Jean said. Kurama nodded his head. Back to reality. Naruto's eyes snapped open and jumped and looked around. He remembered where he was. Naruto took a deep breath and had left the training ground to go home. With Naruto continued to walk to his apartment until he heard a voice. Naruto, it's your grandfather, Jean called out. Grandfather? How can you speak to me? Naruto questioned. Kurama made a mental link for the three of us. Get home, rest up, said Jean. Alright, Gigi, thanks, Naruto said. The next day, Naruto was at his secret training ground waiting for his Gigi or Kurama instruction. Okay, Naruto, now that I managed to unlock your Kekkei Genkai, I also removed the 5 elemental seal that was placed on you by Orochimaru. Now that your chakra control is settled, it's time to see what are your element affinity or affinities, Jean said as he took out a paper. This is chakra paper. It can tell you what element affinity you possess. If it wrinkles, it's lightning, earth is it turns to dirt, water damps it, wind cuts it, fire ignites. Now let's see what you got. Jean handing Naruto the paper. Naruto took the paper and started to channel his chakra. Soon enough the entire paper was shredded to little tiny pieces, but some of the tiny paper turned into dirt, and some started to get soaked through making it into water, and some had wrinkle and some started to burn. Just like I predicted when you had the yin-yang, you also gained the other affinities, but it seems your winds is the strongest and water is second strongest, and by the looks of it you have a small earth, lighting, fire. Your wind is so strong you might be able to fly like the Tsuchikage, and if you can master your water chakra control, you might be able to use water out of the driest atmosphere like the 9-Dame Hokage, Jean said. Naruto already had stars in his eyes. To be able to fly, that's just too awesome, and to be able to use water like the 9-Dame. And no, Naruto, you wouldn't be able to fly automatically because you lack wind chakra control, but that's why we're training. We're also gonna get your other element affinities and control, that way we can help you use the sub-elements, Jean said. Naruto pouted at first but understood the reason behind it. We're also gonna work on your fighting style. I have a perfect fighting style for you, and what's good about this style, you can use and control your water chakra. Now before we continue, I want you to sign something, but do these hand sign first, Jean said as he showed Naruto the hand sign. As Naruto finished the last hand sign, he slammed his hand to the ground like Jean said. Soon a giant scroll appeared in front of Naruto. Open it and sign it in your blood. When you're done, do the hand signs I showed you, said Jean. Naruto opened the scroll, and to his surprise there was only one name, his Gigi name. This contract must have been lost if his grandpa was the only one to sign it. Naruto bit his thumb and started to write his name. As Naruto finished his name, he went the hand signs and called out summoning jutsu. Naruto called out as he slammed his hand to the ground, and a puff of smoke appeared and out came a kangaroo. Naruto's sweat dropped at the animal. The animal was about Konohamaru height. It had brown fur, but on the stomach it was tan, and it had brown eyes and wore 2 black boxing gloves. Really, Gigi, is this the best summoning animal? Naruto said as he bent down to grab the little kangaroo until. Naruto, don't, Jean said, trying to stop his descendant, but it was too late. The kangaroo instantly felt threatened and delivered a straightforward rocket right punch to Naruto's sucker. Naruto was blasted away through some trees and hit a boulder. Pick the kangaroo up, Jean said as he saw his grandson sliding of the boulder. Naruto's leg twitched out, Naruto said. Minutes later, Naruto finally stands up and made a note to never or let anyone pick up the kangaroo. The kangaroo contract was one of the 3 legendary contracts that I found that my brother Hagoromo made. I was lucky enough for the kangaroo boss to let me be their summoner. The other 2 are rare also, the Thunderbird and the Jaguar contract. But enough of that. Try to summon the boss, but use some of Kurama's chakra. Don't worry, kid, I'll only send enough chakra for you to summon the boss, Kurama said, trying to gain Naruto's trust. Normally Naruto would not trust the fox, but under different circumstances Naruto fully trusted the Kurama. Okay, here I go, Naruto said as he felt Kurama's chakra. He went through the hand signs and had used his chakra with Kurama and shouted summoning jutsu. As the smoke cleared up, Naruto had a big smile on his face. The Chunin Exam Stadium Finals. The stadium was filled with tons of the civilians and jonins that came from Suna. Some wanted to see the Uchiha era against the Kazekage's son, and some wanted to see Niji Hyuga the prodigy genius destroy and humiliate the demon brat. But most of the crowd wanted to see a good fight. Down in the arena, the 6 finalists were waiting for the finals to begin, but Sasuke and Naruto had not shown up. What a drag, where is that Naruto? Sasuke, I understand because of his Uchiha pride thinking they'll wait for him. And because of his sensei from what Asuma-sensei told me. But where the hell is Naruto? And whatever happened to that Dosugai? Shikamaru had thought, but he looked at Gaara carefully. Did that Gaara guy kill him? Shikamaru had a fearing thought. A jonin that wore a black bandana and had a saban needle in his mouth began to speak. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chunin exam finals. My name is Genma. I'll be the referee of the tournament. Now all of you are here to prove yourself and to show your village if you are worthy of being a Chunin, but also to show the other nations your strength. Now the tournament will begin, Genma announced. Wait, there are 2 people that have not shown up yet, Shikamaru said. If they're not here when I called them out now 3 times, they will be disqualified. Now then, will everyone leave except for Niji Hyuga? Genma announced. Everyone left, leaving Niji alone in the arena. In the crowd. Hey Sakura, where's Sasuke-kun and Naruto? Ino asked. I'm not sure. Naruto told me Kakashi-sensei was training Sasuke-kun, and Naruto said he was gonna have someone train him. Sakura told Ino. Don't worry, I know he'll show, Choji said while he opened a bag of barbecue chips. Oh come on Naruto, don't tell me you changed your mind. A boy with a small dog on his head yelled out. Kiba, I am as sure HELL show. A girl with short neck-length dark blue hair with 2 bangs with a pair of lavender eyes spoke. I hope so, Hinata, he did make that promise to you. Hinata looked down at the arena with a concerned look. Naruto-kun, Hinata worried about her blonde crush. Naruto Uzumaki, Genma called out, but the blonde orange-wearing ninja didn't show up. Naruto Uzumaki? Genma again calling the name out, but nothing. Last call. If Naruto Uzumaki does not show up by this call, he will be disqualified, Genma announced, but still nothing. I guess dash. Genma stopped when a gust of wind started to pick up. Soon enough a swirling whirlwind was in the middle of the arena. Soon enough the wind had died down, and standing there was a figure that had a trench coat that resembled the 4th Hokage's. The dust had settled, and standing there was Naruto Uzumaki. The coat he wore was dark red and the bottom were silver flames, and in the middle of the coat it had an orange spiral with 5 kanji that represent the elements surrounding it. Around his neck he had a single tomo necklace. He wore a black vest armor with kanji symbols that people are not familiar with. Imagine Deadly Alliance Sub-Zero vest. He wore 2 metal wrist bracer protecting his forearm. He had a pair of black cargo and a pair of black ninja sandals. His spiky long hair was tied in a ponytail that reached halfway to his back. He now stood 5 feet 1 inch foot. Now mostly the women in the audience had a blush on their faces at Naruto's new appearance. Hinata's face and neck had turned completely red at her crush's new appearance. Up in the audience. I knew he make it. Huvu Kiba cheered out. Arf Akamaru barking as agreeing and cheering. Hinata had returned to her normal color, and had a bright smile as she saw her blonde crush was okay. Told Munchu, Choji said as he was munching on his chips. Wow, Naruto actually looks cool. What do you think, Sakura? Ino called her friend out, but she looked and saw the surprised look on her friend's face. Sakura, you okay? Ino asked her best friend. Huh, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm just surprised at Naruto's new appearance, said Sakura. Ino looked at her best friend but knew something was wrong. Well, whatever it is, hopefully she will open up and tell her, but for now she wants Sakura to feel relaxed. I know, right? Let's hear what's going on, Ino said with a smile. Sakura smiled at her best friend. She knew she needed to relax and support her teammate. Back at the arena. Your name? Genma questioned. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto said the Uzumaki name proudly as he looked up, and his eyes were now a silver with a mix of blue. You were cutting it close, kid, you almost got disqualified, Genma said to the now blonde red-hair ninja. Well, I'm here, aren't I? Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Genma just looked at the blonde right. Anyways, the match between Niji Hyuga and Naruto Uzumaki will start, Genma announced. The crowd started to cheering. In the crowd. I can't wait to see that brat lose against Niji. This match is a joke, said a civilian. Yeah, I know, really a dead last against last year's Rookie of the Year. It must be a joke, another civilian said. That's what I thought, but Naruto proved me wrong and he beat me, thinking Kiba. Back in the arena. Niji and Naruto looked locked eye to eye, not even blinking or moving. Why do you bother keeping a promise to someone weak like Hinata-sama? Fate had already declared me the winner as I was destined to face Hinata-sama. Why can't you accept your fate? There's no point of running away, just accept it and forfeit. Niji said with a grin, trying to get the blonde redhead ninja loose focus and let his anger cloud his thoughts. I know about your seal, Naruto said in a low voice, but Niji heard it. Niji's eyes went wide a moment. He narrowed his eyes and was about to speak until. I don't need to hear the question. Hinata told me, Niji, she had told me about your father's death too. To put the blame on someone like Hinata, Naruto said, as he slowly clenched his fist, popping his knuckles. It disgusts me. Hinata was only a little at that time. Did you expect her to suddenly beat her kidnapper, who was by the way a jonin? She had felt guilt every single day because she couldn't do anything to stop her kidnapper. Ever since your father's death, she always had cried every single night wishing for her and I Niji to come back and be saved from his blindness. You may have those almighty seeing eyes, but what you failed to see was that Hinata had never once had shown you disrespect, not once. To make matters worse, she lost her mother. Naruto yelled as the ground beneath him cracked. The only one that had loved her deeply, the one that had comforted her after your uncle's death. How do you think she feels about her own mother's death? She had felt the same pain as you, but you took that advantage and put her down, knowing well how she feels about her family. Naruto said, letting his anger out. Up in the crowd, a man with a white kimono with long brown hair with white pupilless eyes. Sitting next to him was a little girl who also had the same as eyes like the man. These two were Hanabi and Hayashi Hyuga, Hinata's little sister and father. They were listening to Naruto, and as soon as he said Hinata's mother, Hayashi couldn't help but frown as he thought of his deceased wife. Hayashi may have looked cold on the outside, but on the inside he really cared deeply for his family. Ever since losing his brother Takumo, he became cold towards Hinata and even to his wife. It had sickened him. Before Hitomi's death, Hayashi realized his mistake, but it was too late. Since then, Hayashi had been more cold toward his children and put them against each other in spars. He never liked it when both were hurt bad, especially from your own sisters, but he wanted both of his daughters to grow strong. He didn't want to lose them like how he lost their mother. "Sama, does the boy stand a chance against Niji-san?" Hanabi asked her father. Hayashi stood silent for a moment. "I cannot really tell you, Hanabi. Niji is prodigy like never seen before in the Hyuga clan. Naruto, however. Well, people had said he is the most unpredictable ninja, so he may have a few hidden surprises which can be a good, but the disadvantage for both of them is they don't know each other ability as much. The only thing Niji knows about Naruto ability is he can do Kagebushin. While Naruto only knows about Niji's Byakugan and some of his Juken that Naruto saw when your sister went against Niji, but Niji is called a prodigy for nothing. But I cannot tell who will win or lose. Decisions are always up to you and your sister, remember this," Hanabi Hayashi said to his daughter. "Yes, Sama," Hanabi said. Back in the arena. "Have you forgotten your duties that you were supposed to do to protect Hinata?" "I may not know what it feels like to lose a father, but I know how it feels to lose someone precious to you," Naruto said, thinking of Haku. "If you still can't see it, I'll just beat it into you and show you fate doesn't control anything," Naruto said coldly as he got into his stance. "I choose JKD because it's mostly the best offense and defense martial art." Niji had a cocky smile. "I guess you still can't accept your fate. No matter what you say will change, fate had already declared it," Niji said as he got into his fighting stance. Genma looked at Niji and Naruto and their face told them, "Start the fight." "Alrighty boys, ready," Genma said as he lifted his arms up. The boys still did not move or even blink. The whole crowd stood silent as the tension between the two was about to explode. Soon enough, Genma had brung his hand down, calling, "Fight," Genma said as he started the match. Wasting no time, Niji went in for the attack, but Naruto had blocked and had attacked back. Niji barely blocked a punch. Both boys had exchanged hand after hand. The speed had started to pick up. Naruto's attacks were starting to get faster and his punches were starting to get much harder. If it weren't for Niji's Byakugan, the attacks would have connected. In the crowd. "Wow, look, munch at him, munch," Go Choji said as he was eating his chips. "Wow, this a different and new Naruto. What do you think, Sakura?" Ino asked. "Well, whoever trained Naruto must have helped him out a lot," Sakura said as she then cheered for her teammate. "Wow, the brat is actually holding his ground," Anko said. "I mostly want to ask him how did he do that wind Shushin. That pretty impressive. It's not easy making a Shushin, let alone a wind one," Asuma said. "Indeed, but I'm more interested in his taijutsu. Never have I seen those kind of moves," said Guy. "Remember though, Niji was called a prodigy for a reason. This match could switch anytime," Kurenai said. Back to the fight. Niji felt his arms going numb from blocking many attacks from Naruto punches. Finally, at the last attack, Naruto went for a straight right punch, but Niji grabbed a hold of Naruto's wrist, stopping his attack. But what Niji did next was Naruto used his hand that was caught and slapped Niji on the nose with his fingers. It wasn't hard, but it was enough for Niji to be distracted and let go of Naruto. Naruto had not just learned to control his Kekkai Genkai or his fighting style or his elements, but he also learned about the body and the sensitive parts like the noise and many others. As Niji tried to regain his stance, Naruto had threw 3 right punches to the side of Niji's eye, causing a gash at the side of Niji's left eye. He then threw a much harder right punch, causing Niji to stumble back, almost losing his balance. At the moment, Naruto made a shadow clone, but as soon it appeared, Naruto swung and threw the clone towards Niji. The shadow clone had made a front dropkick, and it had connected to Niji's chest, Niji rolling halfway across the arena. Damn, this kid is showing no mercy, Genma thought as he was watching the match. Multi-shadow clone jutsu, Naruto said as he made the hand sign. Soon enough 30 shadow clones had appeared and had thrown multiple shuriken covered with wind chakra. The attack was about to connect until, Kaiten, rotation, Niji shouted as he spun around, surrounded by a blue dome blocking all the shuriken and reflecting them towards the clone, destroying them. Up in the crowd. "Tusama, is that?" Hanabi asked in shock. Kaiten, the ultimate defense in the Hyuga clan and a main family technique. To think Niji was able to master a main family technique in a month, he is truly called a prodigy for a reason, Hayashi said in shock and impression. But I wonder what other surprises does Minato's son has, Hayashi thought at the last part. Hayashi was one of the few people who knew Naruto's parents and heritage. Minato was one of his best friends and teammate, with his sensei being Jiraiya back in his genin days. The day Minato became Hokage, he and Minato were planning to work on a formula to change the caged bird seal. Instead of using it for pain or slavery, the seal would destroy the Kekkai Genkai when the Hyuga member dies, but due to the Nine-Tail incident, it never had finished. But he had a feeling that Naruto may be his last hope to help his clan and have his family come together as one. "My friend, your son will show all these fools that he is no monster but your son, Naruto Uzumaki," Hayashi praying for his late friend and teammates. "Sorry Naruto, but Niji's Kaiten won't break so easily. It's a reason why it's called the ultimate defense." Thinking Tenten. Hinata had a concerned and worried look as she saw Niji perform Kaiten, and to her shock he had mastered it in a month. She knew how powerful was the Hyuga's Kaiten was, Naruto-kun, Hinata thinking, and hopefully Naruto will pull through. Back to the arena. Soon Niji had stopped rotating. He had a smirk on his face as he wiped the blood off that was running across his left eye. "I'll admit you have gotten good, but it still won't be enough," Nijia said confidentially. As he activated his Byakugan, but he winced at the pain as the gash stung him. Damn him, he knew I would use my Byakugan, but that won't matter. I will when fate had declared it, Niji thinking to himself. "So that's Kaiten, impressive. I guess it's time to get serious," Naruto said as he took the jacket off. Now most of the women in the crowd were getting a little nosebleed at the sight of Naruto's body. He had just a vest with no shirt underneath him showing his abs. His body was a mixture of a powerhouse and swimmer, telling them he had speed and power. He went back into his style, but he added chakra to the muscles and waited for Niji. He made a bring it on hand gesture. Niji, being a prodigy, didn't buy the taunt and had threw some shuriken. While Naruto dodged the shurikens, Niji added chakra to his feet and had speed burst towards Naruto. Niji soon was close range with Naruto. He had Juken strike straight to Naruto's heart, but soon enough Naruto had disappeared in a puff of smoke, causing Niji eyes wide in shock. What a shadow clone, but I know that was the real him. Niji thinking, where the hell was he at? As Niji had his Byakugan on, he searched everywhere for a chakra signature, but he never found one until he felt pain in his chest. Soon enough Naruto had bursted out of the ground and was kicking Niji's chest multiple times in the air. Think of Sonya's air bicycle kick from MK. Kaiten, Niji shouted as his body rotated in the air, and the blue dome appeared and had knocked Naruto away, but he had disappeared. Another clone, Niji gritting his teeth as he was losing his patience with the same jutsu. In the crowd. While looks like Niji is losing his cool, Ino said, still in shock, that this Naruto was the same Naruto that wore a bright orange jumpsuit that said "kill me." "I'm just happy Naruto is winning," Sakura said as she was deeply happy for him, but was I really thinking about focusing Sasuke and not my training? Sakura thought sadly as she felt she was the real weak team member. Still, I won't be left behind. I'll catch up to Naruto and Sasuke. Wait, did I just say Sasuke and not Sasuke-kun? Sakura had thought maybe this was the first step to catch up to her teammates. Maybe Sasuke and I were not meant together, maybe just as friends. Sakura was thinking. She would worried about that later. For now she had cheered for Naruto and support him. I want Munch to know Munch who trained him, Choji said as he was eating his chips, and he too was happy for his friend. He and Shikamaru had met Naruto in the academy, and soon enough the friendship was started as he and Naruto were eating ramen rivals. Come on Neji, don't lose focus. Tenten worried about Neji losing his focus and let his anger blind him. Impressive, he's using Neji's anger to make him lose focus and take the advantage. Hayashi had chuckled for the first time in a long time. He truly is your son Minato. Hayashi continued watching the match. Hanabi looked at her father and was shocked when she saw her father chuckle, but this chuckle was not a dark or insult chuckle but a true funny chuckle. Her father had always looked cold ever since Hanabi can remember, but had remembered when Hinata had told her about why their father was cold. After explaining Hanabi about her father losing his brother and their mother, he had changed. But seeing him chuckle, she couldn't help but put a small smile like she had got her father back. Hanabi looked down at the arena. I don't know how, but you may have brought back me and Onizen Hinata father back. Hanabi silently thanking the now red-yellow hair ninja. Back to the arena. Neji had his Byakugan on, but it was hard focusing on as the blood started to roll down his left eye, blocking one vision. Neji had quickly wiped the blood off as he knew that Naruto would pop somewhere. Soon enough a voice called out, Suetun, Water Dragon Jutsu. As the jutsu was called out, a giant water dragon had came out of the ground and directly went towards Neji. Neji acted fast. Kaiten again. Neji spun as the blue dome around him protected him from the dragon, but something felt not right. Naruto had jumped down the tree. Soon enough 2 small balls of chakra appeared around Naruto. One was black and the other was white. Doing a hand snake hand sign, the 2 small chakra balls spun around fast into Naruto's hand, causing his hands to be covered in silver chakra. It was so dense it could be seen, shocking the crowd, Jonins and Genins. Suetun, Water Dragon Jutsu. Naruto shouted as he summoned another water dragon, but this water dragon body was glowing and it looked more powerful. The dragon was now much faster. Neji had countered again with Kaiten, but it took a lot of chakra out of him. Damn, how is he doing this? I was destined to win this match. Fate had declared me victory. I will win. Neji thinking, and enraged he added chakra to his feet and had speed towards Naruto. Naruto had saw Neji attack and he too speed toward Neji. Soon the two collided and had attacked or blocked one another. Soon enough Neji had an opening. Now it's time to show him why fate had made me the winner, Neji said as he put his right arm down and his left arm up as he got into a stance. Soon a glowing green yin-yang was around the boys. In the crowd, Hayashi, Hanabi and Hinata were shocked at Neji's next attack. Impossible, he can use that move. Hayashi in a state of shock. Hinata now was really worried if this attack connects to Naruto. She didn't even want to think about it. She silently hoped Naruto would pull through. This is it, he did good and better than last time, but he still wasn't a match for Neji. Tenten thinking her teammate had the victory. Back in the arena. You're in my division, Neji said in an emotional tone. 8 trigrams 64 palms, Neji shouted. 2 palms, Naruto dodged the attack. 4 palms, again Naruto dodged the attack. 8 palms, Neji was now furious. Why were the attacks not connecting? 16 palms, the attack was now faster, but Naruto was now much faster. 32 palms, Naruto was now countering the attacks. Palms and fists had connected. Luckily Naruto added his yin-yang chakra to his bones to make them harder so they can withstand the palm attacks. 64 palms, Neji had attacked Naruto with the ultimate attack, but Naruto became more fast. Not just him, but his hands were too. All the attack and blocks were nothing but blurs. Soon as the attack stopped, Naruto used his advantage and repeatedly threw rapid-fire punches to the chest. The then front-kicked Neji chest, backing him to a tree. Naruto saw this opportunity, and had closed in and threw left and right's punches to the arm, joints, ribs, and then again to his chest. He then pulled Neji's head forward, hitting the side of his neck with his elbow with not enough force to kill him but enough to do damage. He then stepped aside and side-kicked the back of Neji's leg and then pulled Neji towards him and had did a short side kick to the ribs. At the final attack Naruto had pulled his right fist and delivered a mean punch towards Neji's jaw. The punch had forced Neji's head to bounce off the tree. Naruto had went and delivered the final blow but stopped as his fist was about to connect to the heart. It was over. Neji slid down the tree and fell on his butt as he felt his body numb. Why can't I move? Neji questioned as he tried to get up but no success. When I attacked your arm and legs I converted a small amount of lightning chakra to your nervous system around the joints, preventing you and temporarily paralyzing you. But don't worry, the medics can fix that. And the reason you couldn't sense my chakra was because these seal Naruto point at his vest with kanji symbols completely hide my chakra from anybody to Kage level. It even can block out Digitsu like your Byakugan and the Team Sharingan. and that clone you hit in the heart. Before you had Kate and my shurikens, I had one shadow clone henge into a shuriken, and because of me having too much chakra, the henge was almost like the real object. But anyways, when you had blocked and destroyed my clone's one shuriken bounced off, my shadow clone henge was in that tree where I had substituted myself with the shadow clone, said and explained to Niji, shocking the crowd. Did all the beating I gave you was enough? I told you before, I didn't let fate control my life. You can control your life. You're not a caged bird. Don't let that seal make you believe you are one. A bird will not stay in a cage for too long. Eventually the bird's cage will open to freedom, where it can spread its wings and takes flight. Naruto said philosophy as he looked up at the clear sky where the birds were flying away. The winner of the first round of the Chunin exam finals, Naruto Uzumaki, Jenna declared. In the crowd. The whole crowd were in a shock. Niji Hyuga, the prodigy of the Hyuga clan and last year #1 rookie, was defeated by the dead last Naruto Uzumaki. The arena was just silent until clap. 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 Everyone had all looked at who was clapping. Hiruzen was the first one to clap. Then Hayashi and Hanabi stood up and had started clap. Sooner the whole crowd started to clap, and sooner the crowd were cheering. He won, he actually won, way to go Naruto! Sakura shouted and cheered for her teammate. I knew he win, that Naruto will never stays down, munched Choji said as he ate his second bag of chips and opened a third one. Well, I gotta admit I thought Naruto was in trouble, but being called the #1 unpredictable ninja, he lives up to it, Ino said as she too was clapping. Hoo, that's the way to do it, Naruto! Kiba howled and yelled out as he too cheered. Hinata had smiled as her crush not only did he just win but had saved and had pulled Niji to see the light. No way Niji lost, the stunned Tenten had thought. Thank you, Naruto, you did something I couldn't do. I think it's time for Niji to learn the truth, Hayashi had thought while he wiped a few tears away. Hanabi, I want you to find your sister, I'll be back, Hayashi told Hanabi as he softly ruffled Hanabi's hair, something he never had did. Hanabi smiled. Yes, Tusama, said Hanabi as she went to find her sister. Asterisk whistled. Damn, that brat had just destroyed the Hyuga, Anko said. His plans were creative too, but I'm mostly interested is what he did with those 2 mysterious chakra balls. I had never in my life seen a ninja do that before. What about you, Kurenai? Said Astasuma. Well, I'm not sure myself, but I do know whatever he did, that water dragon, it had much more power, plus to only use a single hand sign to summon a water dragon. That has never been seen since the Nidaime Hokage. Also, we can't forget that silver chakra. I felt it from up here and it was powerful than the Sandaime's chakra, said Kurenai, shocking the Jonins. Well, Naruto had shown a tremendous amount of skill as well as his taijutsu. He truly has the flames of youth, don't you agree, Lee? Guy shouted. Yes, Guy-sensei, not only did he show that if you train hard you could overcome anything, but he also showed that a dead last can beat a genius if you work harder. That's the spirit, Lee, Guy shouted as he smiled his bright shining teeth. Well, all in all, the match, that was pretty damn good match, Anko said. In the Hokage booth, Hiruzen smiled down at Naruto. Naruto had showed the people he was no monster. He was though mostly surprised at Naruto's control of water. He had done something he had not seen since his sensei the Nidaime Hokage died, pulling water out of air. But he mostly wanted to know about those strange black and white chakra balls. Maybe Naruto can explain to him after the Chunin exams. Minato, you and Kushina would be proud of your son if you were here, Hiruzen, knowing they were watching. The disguised Orochimaru was now intrigued in Naruto's new ability. Amazing, he has the same ability as the Nidaime, but I'm more interested in those strange chakra balls. The chakra felt strong, stronger than my own. I must find out that power. With that and the Sharingan, I'll be a step close to immortality, Orochimaru had chuckled disturbingly. Back in the arena, as Niji was put on a stretcher, he had been thinking of Naruto's words. Maybe he is right. Have I been truly that blind? I had almost had let fate control me and had almost fell into darkness. Naruto Uzumaki, a ninja that controls his life. Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. Niji had a small smile, he silently thanking Naruto as he passed out. Naruto had picked up his trench coat and had left the arena as he heard a lot of cheers. He couldn't help but have a goofy smile. Did you see that I won? I did it. I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for you and G training, Kurama. No, kid, we may had showed you and had helped you with controlling your chakra and elements, but the plan and attacks were all you. Kurama admitting the truth. I agree with Kurama, Naruto. It was all you. Your plan, attacks and strategies were all you, Jin said. Naruto blushed a little at the comments. But soon he was with the rest of the crew next to Shikamaru. He finally fell down on his butt and just sighed at relief. He looked up at Shikamaru and gave him a heads-up nod as he smiled. Shikamaru couldn't help but chuckle a little. Naruto, you're such a troublesome now blonde redhead ninja, Shikamaru said. Naruto laughed as the next match was called. Same as Canyon. Naruto had sighed at Shikamaru giving up, but of course what do you expect from a Nara? In the Hokage booth. Sir Sasuke Uchiha has not shown up yet. What should we do? We already held it off. Once we can't show favorites it'll look bad for Konoha, a Jonin whispered to the Hokage. Sigh, Kakashi, I have no choice but to disqualify Sasuke because of your habit. Hiruzen finally having enough of Kakashi excuses. Tell Gunma Sasuke Uchiha is disqualified. Sandaime-sama, a lot of people have come to see the Uchiha boy, but it seems the crowd are still in excitement after the Uzumaki boys match. Perhaps I have a solution. The Uzumaki boy is strong, maybe stronger as the Uchiha boy. Why not switch them? The Uzumaki boy against Gaara. I'm sure the daimyo would love the idea and so would the crowd, plus it would show both of our daimyos our village's strength and alliance. How does that sound? Said the disguised Orochimaru. Hiruzen had thought about it. The crowd was still shaken after Naruto's match. The strength that Naruto had showed in his match proved he was ready for anything. We shall see what the daimyos say, Hiruzen said as he turned to the Jonin, who nodded his head as the Jonin left. A wise decision, Sandaime-sama, said the disguised Orochimaru. 5 minutes later. A Jounin appeared next to Genma whispering something. Genma nodded his head. Ladies and gentlemen, a special request from both the daimyos of the Wind and Fire Country. The match between Sasuke Uchiha and Gaara of the Sand match will not happen. However, Naruto Uzumaki will be switched to face Gaara of the Sand. Genma announced, causing cheers and boos, but they were cheered out with the crowd. What about Sasuke-kun? Screamed Ino. Ino, this is bad. Remember what that Gaara did? Sakura was cut off as Lee approached the group. Don't worry, Sakura-chan, if Naruto can beat Neji, he can beat Gaara. Naruto has proved to a lot of people that he can do the impossible, Lee said as he gave a thumbs-up smiling guy pose. Sakura had looked down, still worried, but Lee was right. Naruto has done the impossible. With the finalist. Well, I guess it's my turn, Naruto said as he breathed to calm down. Do not fret, Kit. Shikaka may be crazy, but he is clumsy and careless. That's why he was considered weak out of all our siblings. Well, in my opinion, Kurama confessed at the end. Naruto and Jin's sweat drop. I think what Kurama is trying to say is to be careful. Remember, all the training paid off. This is your moment to show everyone you are Naruto Uzumaki, grandson of Jin Uzumaki, founder of the Uzumaki clan. Jin told Naruto as Naruto clenched his fist and had his game face on. Let's do it, Naruto said as he disappeared in his Shushin and appeared in the arena. Gaara had sand Shushin to the arena with a hungry bloodlust look in his eyes. Genma had looked at the two. These kids have that look that says they want to kill each other. These two really take ninja duty serious, or it's something else. Genma thinking. You two ready? Genma asked, which got a nod from both opponents. Begin, Genma declared and had jumped back. At that moment Naruto disappeared, which caused Gaara eyes wide in shock, but soon he felt a blow behind. Looking behind, nothing was there. Then another attack was in front, then behind, then sideways. Naruto was all around Gaara. He's fast like that last one, Gaara thought as he was barely blocking the attacks. In the crowd. Man, he's fast, Ino commented. Yeah, almost like Lee, Sakura said. Yes, Naruto, show us your flames of youth, Lee cheered. Man, Akamaru, we really need to step up our training. You with me? Said Kiba. Arf, Akamaru barked for yes. Hinata had tried not to worry too much, but she had a bad feeling about this Gaara guy. Onizen, a voice called out. Hinata had looked and saw her sister. Hanabi, what are you doing here? Where's father? Hinata asked as she was confused. Tusan left somewhere, he said, to find you, that he be back, Hanabi said. Hinata nodded as she continued to watch the match. Hanabi sat next to her sister and looked at her, then at Naruto. Now I see why you like him, Onizen, Hanabi thought as she watched the match. In the arena. Gaara had looked annoyed. As his sand protected him, it had grabbed a hold of Naruto and flung him across the arena. Naruto had bit his thumb and swiped his blood across his arm. In a puff of smoke, a beautiful silver katana, The metal was pure black, but it had weird glowing sliver lines around the blade. Stabbing it to the ground, he had stopped himself before he hit the arena wall. Gaara had sent out sand after sand, but Naruto sliced through the sand like knife through hot butter. He had put his katana behind him and had dashed towards Gaara before disappearing. Gaara had not time to block as he turned around and saw Naruto appeared behind him and had slugged him in the jaw, skidding a few yards away. In the finalist box. Temari, this is bad. Gaara had to use his sand shell because of that hit. Kankuro said, concerned. I know, and if this keeps up, Gaara will lose control. Temari said fearfully. In the arena. Gaara had stood there looking down for a minute. Moments later, her looks up with a crazy smile as he attacks, this time with sand shuriken, which Naruto deflect, but sand tsunami, Gaara shouted as a wave full of sand to attack Naruto. Naruto quickly summoned a shadow clone and both had went through some hand signs. Suetun, water torpedo dragon jutsu, Naruto said as a huge torpedo dragon attacked the sand, turning it into mud. Naruto then went through another hand sign, Kaiten, fireball barrage, Naruto said as multiple fireballs caught the mud and started to burn around, the flame covered around Gaara. As the flames died down, Gaara was in a ball of glass. In the crowd. Genius, the brat knew what would happen to sand, so he used the tactic for an advantage. Asuma said. Indeed, a brilliant move, but something's not right, Guy said. Back in the arena. The glass started to break and sand had leaked out. Naruto quickly took his coat off and had jumped back a few yards. That sand is unlimited, so attacking the sand is useless. Naruto thinking. Soon the glass fell apart, and standing there was a cocoon sand. In the finalist. Temari, that move, Kankuro said in fear. He going to transform here, Temari said like her brother Kankuro in fear. I got a bad feeling about this, Sakura, said Ino. I do too, but that doesn't mean Naruto will lose. I believe in him, Sakura said. In what Sakura-chan, after Niji's match, Naruto showed more than just strength, Lee said, agreeing with Naruto. In the arena. Naruto had got some shuriken and kunai and threw them at the sand cocoon, which resulted as the kunai and shuriken bounced off the cocoon. Naruto sped towards the cocoon but stopped in his tracks as sand spikes shot out around the cocoon. Naruto had jumped back and looked carefully at it. Breaking that sand won't be easy. I could use a powerful ninjutsu, but that'd be wasting my chakra. I'll have to use my katana. Naruto had grabbed his sword and cut his hand with it, and dropped his blood on the blade. He then held it with both his hands, bringing the blade close to him. The crowd heard Naruto chanting strange language that only an Uzumaki member can only understand. With my blood, I call upon my ancestor of the Uzumaki clan. Of my fallen members, with your strength guide my blade towards the path, for I am a Naruto Uzumaki, descendant of Jin Otsutsuki. The blade had started to glow blue, and soon it brightened. I once more call the guidance of my clansmen. Give my strength. Soon Naruto opened his eyes and they glowed. He had charged at the cocoon. In a flash, Naruto passed the cocoon, which he suffered a cut across his chest and the side of his face, but the cocoon still stood. But Uzumaki art, blade of judgment, Naruto said. The crowd still were looking at the cocoon. Nothing happened. What is this feeling, this warm feeling? Gaara thought, but soon had felt drops of blood dripping down from his chest, which caused Gaara eyes wide in shock and screamed. Blood, it's my blood! Gaara screamed, which caused the audience to shiver in fear. The cocoon had finally fell, and standing there was something else. It had a tail and a beast-like raccoon face. Shit, Naruto, get ready, I feel lots of chakra signatures and they're not good. Jin warned Naruto. I know, I feel it too, Naruto about to continue until... Boom! Naruto quickly looked at the Kage booth. Grandpa! Naruto called out. Soon enough feathers had fell and had put the crowd to sleep. Soon enough Suna and Oto ninjas came out and attack. Genjutsu? Naruto said, confused as he released his chakra. Naruto saw what was happening. It was war. A war he thought he would never see. Naruto still had to deal with Gaara while Gunma, Shikamaru and Shino were dealing with Gaara's siblings and sensei. Gaara wanted more. He wanted to make Naruto Uzumaki, make him prove his existence. He soon started to transform. Naruto saw this and had called the guys out. Guys, get the hell out of here. Gaara's gonna transform into a Biju. Naruto yelled out. Everyone's eyes went wide and had quickly jumped away, leaving Naruto against Gaara. Soon enough the sand had cleared and there was Shikaku. Naruto had used his yin-yang release and had made a dimension that took Naruto and Gaara out of Konoha and outside the village. Outside the village. Naruto and the now fully Biju Gaara were outside of Konoha. Naruto Uzumaki, you will be the one prove my existence, Gaara called out and saw Naruto. Naruto had saw this and had quickly went through the hand signs. Gaara shot a wind bullet towards Naruto. Steel release, steel wall, Naruto said as a huge wall like steel size of a tailed beast blocked the attack. Kurama, juice me please, Naruto said. You got it, kid, Kurama said as he pumped his chakra worth of one tail to Naruto. Naruto soon was covered in a red chakra tail cloak. He then did some hand signs calling summoning jutsu. In a poof of smoke, Gaara was tired of waiting and shot a wind bullet around the smoke. But when smoke cleared, nothing was there. Gaara had yelled until he felt a tap behind him. Turning around, Naruto soon met a huge fist which blasted Gaara a few yards away. The Biju Gaara had looked up and saw a kangaroo. The kangaroo had black fur, its chest had a scar and its body was muscular, not too muscular. It had human-like hands wrapped in bandages. It had a pair of red shorts with a cigar in its mouth with a red sleeveless jacket that said boss. Surprise motherfucker, the kangaroo said. On the Kage booth roof. The Kazekage was holding the Sandame hostage as he held a kunai to his neck. Sandame-sama. A group of umbus heading towards them until 4 sound ninjas appeared on each corner of the rooftop. Everyone ready, Sakan preparing a barrier with his teammates. Ready. The other 3 Jirobo, Taiyuya, Kidamura took positioned. Ninja art, 4 flame formation. The sound 4 created a purple barrier around them which blocked out the umbus and had created another mini barrier around themselves. In the barrier, the Sandame can only look at the village being attacked. Never had her thought his would happen since the 9 Tails attack 14 years ago, which costed a lot of lives. Now it's war, a war he thought he would never see or be in again. Why, Kazekage-sama? What's this about? Questioned the Sandame. Dark chuckle. Oh, Sandame-sama, you are called the professor for a reason, yes? You must know why I'm doing this. The Kazekage pressing the kunai against the Sandame's throat. If this is about the problem between your village and about your daimyo, then please stop this war. We can find a peaceful solution instead of spilling innocent blood. You always were a soft old man, but then again you couldn't even kill me back then, Sarutobi-sensei, the Kazekage said as he grabbed his face. Sarutobi had recognized the person as the Kazekage revealed himself. Orochimaru, the Sandame said, bitterness. Oh, what's wrong, Sarutobi-sensei? Aren't you happy to see your favorite student? I'm hurt, Orochimaru said mockingly. You were my favorite student. Until you fell so far into darkness, said the Sandame. Oh, come now, sensei. It's been so long since we saw each other, and this is how you welcome home your favorite student. Orochimaru dark chuckling. I take it there's more than you want than revenge? Said the Sandame. Chuckle, I can see why you are also called the professor for a reason. Yes, I am. You see, the Sharingan is really a special dijutsu. Imagine learning all the jutsus in the world, Orochimaru licking his lips. So you are after Sasuke Uchiha's Sharingan. But why didn't take them when you fought his team? Questioned Hiruzen. You know the side effect of the Sharingan user, if he isn't an Uchiha his chakra will constantly decrease like Hataki. Although I can reverse the side effect. But I want something more. Orochimaru with the evil grin. What do you mean? Hiruzen stopped, and his eyes went wide in shock. You've been using that kinjutsu. Sarutobi in pure shock. Bravo sensei, bravo. I have finally perfected that jutsu. And as you now see the results, Orochimaru smirked. Orochimaru, never had I thought you would fall so further into darkness. Hiruzen regretting not finishing him off years ago. You should feel proud, sensei. Your student has found a way to do something that many ninjas would want. Orochimaru said mockingly. Before you kill me, why did you want to see Naruto fight Gaara? I had thought you would want to see Sasuke's match. Questioned Hiruzen. Oh, chuckle. Well, you see, after the Uzumaki's boys match I was intrigued by those chakra balls he had summoned. I know well you felt its power. But I think I may know something that you will be surprised at. What are you talking about? Hiruzen confused. The ancient chant he did I translated. It was an old Uzumaki language that only the Uzumaki clan members can know. Orochimaru surprising his sensei. How do you know this? Like you said, only a Uzumaki clan member can only know. Hiruzen said. Oh, I did, but who said I knew them? Maybe I had another Uzumaki translate the language. Orochimaru said, getting another shock from his sensei. How is that possible? Hiruzen questioned. A girl named Karen was brought to me from my ninjas who killed her parents in the grass country. I had ran a blood test on her and found out she was a Uzumaki. Since then she has been loyal to me. When the Uzumaki boy used the language, I instantly translated it. Dark chuckle. Who would have figured the Jinchuriki brat was descendant of Jin Otsutsuki, the second brother of the Rikudo Sannin? Orochimaru licking his lips. Hiruzen was shocked. His surrogate grandson was the descendant of Jin Otsutsuki. But whoever knew the Rikudo Sannin had another brother? I couldn't get Naruto because of that damn bijou, but with Sharingan I'll be able to control the beast and claim my prize. Orochimaru had then felt a ki, before he had the chance to figure it out who it came from. Hiruzen had broke loose from Orochimaru's vice and had slammed the back of his elbow to Orochimaru's stomach and then had delivered a spinning kick to Orochimaru's face, blasting him a couple yards away. The Sandaime knuckles were white as he clenched his fist. You have the nerve to come to my village, attack my people, my family. I made a mistake those years ago, but today I will correct that mistake. Sarutobi pulling off his Hokage robe and had his long-sleeved black ninja attire with his helmet that had the Leaf Village symbol. Chuckle, oh, I guess playtime is over. Orochimaru taking Hokage robe off, wearing his sound attire. Both student and teacher had a standoff, locking dead on each other. Slowly the rooftops started to crack and the atmosphere was heavy due to the amount of chakra Orochimaru and the Sandaime were leaking out. Soon enough both had charged at each other. Back with Naruto. AMV0 signal by Fear Factor aka MK Scorpion vs Johnny Cage fight song. Bijugara stood up and had laughed like a psycho. Ha 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 ha, yes, Naruto Uzumaki. You are the one to prove my existence, roared Gaara. Man, this motherfucker is psycho. I think we should beat some sense into him. What do you say, partner? The kangaroo getting ready to attack. Couldn't agree with you more, Kane-sama, give me some wind. Naruto going through some hand signs. The kangaroo, now known as Kane, had locked his fist back and had thrusted a punch which released a forceful of wind that was in the shape of a fist. Katon, dragon missiles. Naruto shot out a flaming dragon towards the wind fist. Soon enough the fist was on fire. The attack struck the Bijugara in the chest, leaving a hole. Gaara looked down at his chest and looked back up and just laughed as the chest closing up. Damn, that didn't work, cursed Naruto. Kane was looking at the beast and saw Gaara doing a hand sign which Kane recognized, which made his eyes widen and instantly told Naruto to get ready. Playing possum jutsu, Gaara instantly fell asleep. You may want to hold on tight, bud. The boy used a jutsu that will temporarily unleash Shikaku unless we wake him up. Soon enough the eyes of Shikaku glowed yellow as he was awoken. Yihiewawa him free, baby. Finally free, Shikaku roared as he looked around and spotted Naruto. Futon, drilling air bullets. Shikaku shooting out multiple air bullets. Hold on tight, Kane told Naruto as he hopped over and dodging the bullets. Eat this. The kangaroo stomped the ground, causing a chunk off of the ground to appear in a ball. Kane had jumped and swung his tail, hitting the ball of earth like it was a baseball. The earth ball had struck Shikaku, which had dazed him a little. Using the moment, Kane had jumped and delivered a Superman punch. Shikaku had grabbed Kane, swung and threw him back. Kane had landed safely. The only way to defeat Shikaku is to wake up his host. Now that's gonna be a pain in the ass, Kane said. Thinking of a plan. Naruto had idea. Kane, hold out your hand out, ordered Naruto as he summoned out his chakra. Soon enough Naruto had used his yin-yang release. A golden chain appeared in Kane's hand. Shikaku had shot out wine bullets, but Kane hopped out of the way and had swung the chain, wrapping it around Shikaku's neck. Naruto, go, commanded Kane. Naruto jumped off the kangaroo head and had sped towards Gaara. Shikaku had pulled and tried to break free from the chain. At the last resort, Shikaku had opened its mouth, creating a small purple sphere ball. Kid, do something. Shikaku is crazy. He is trying to use the bijou bomb. Naruto's eyes went wide. Shit! Naruto again used his yin-yang release. Shikaku bijou bomb was complete, and had blasted it towards Naruto and the village. Soon enough, Naruto had created a vortex that had sucked the Bijou bomb and had sent it away from Konoha. As the bomb hit somewhere in the fire country, the attack could still be seen from miles away. Naruto was now close to Gaara. He had gathered a lot of chakra to his feet and had jumped up to Gaara. Shikaku had tried to swipe Naruto out of the way, but Naruto had summoned out a chain from his storage seal. But both ends had a spear tip. Naruto wrapped the chain around Shikaku's hand and had swung himself to Gaara. Taking his chain, Naruto wrapped his knuckles with the chain, and then with a small amount of chakra around the chain he had hit Gaara's jaw. The amount of force had Gaara flew off Shikaku. "No, I just got here!" Shikaku screamed as he disintegrated. And AMV. Gaara fell down through some branches and had landed hard on his back. His head was bleeding bad where half of his face was nothing but blood red. Naruto had landed on the ground safely but was sore. He had slowly walked over to Gaara. "No! Stay away!" Gaara panicking. "You know the pain of being alone. I had those eyes before, but I made friends and they helped me, but if you ever harm them I'll kill you," Naruto said coldly at the end as he continued walking towards him. Why would you go that far?" Gaara not understanding. "Because they saved from being alone, they saved me from my loneliness. I'm sure you have someone precious to you. Your brother and sister, I'm sure you care about them, I'm sure they care about you, give them a chance." Naruto had stopped as Gaara's siblings Temari and Kankuro appeared in front of Gaara. As they were about to move. "No, don't, it's over, he beat me, let's just go home," Gaara said tiredly. Both Kankuro and Temari were shocked that Gaara admit defeat. Never have they thought would admit defeat. "Okay, Gaara," Kankuro said as he and Temari were helping Gaara up. Naruto didn't attempt to stop them. As the sibling were about to leave. "Wait here." Naruto tossing a scroll to Temari. "Those are sleeping tags. What's good about these tags? I modify them. Not only will it help him sleep, but it will also block out his Bijou chakra from taking over him." Naruto explaining to the siblings, which shocked them. Now their little brother can sleep. "Why though, why help?" Temari questioned. "Because him and I are the same," Naruto said walking away. "Kane-sama, you think you can hop me to the stadium? Gigi may need help," said Naruto. "Alrighty, come on." Naruto had jumped on Kane's pocket and then had hopped away. The sibling all watched the kangaroo hopped far away. They had took Gaara and headed back to Suna. While they were jumping back to Suna, they heard Gaara. "Temari, Kankuro, I'm sorry." Both sibling eyes went in shock, but to mostly Temari, she had let out tears flow down her face, holding her little brother's hand, which she was afraid to do when she was little. She now regretted her past. Her brother just wanted love and she never gave him any sibling love, but maybe she has a second chance. "It's alright, Gaara," Kankuro said while Temari nodded her head as they continued to Suna. "Naruto Uzumaki, thank you," thinking Gaara as he was drifted to sleep while the sibling put the tag on him, letting him sleep in peace for the first time since he was born. In the barrier. Right now Hiruzen Sarutobi was in deep trouble for two reasons. 1. Orochimaru had used the Kenjutsu, the Edo Tensei, which allows the user to bring a soul they choose and reanimate the sacrificing body to the original form the soul was once in. 2. Orochimaru had brought back two of Konoha's legendary and powerful ninjas, Hashirama Senju, the former Shodame Hokage, and his brother Tobirama Senju, the former Nine-Dame Hokage. "How does it feel, Sensei, to see your old teachers? I'm sure you must feel happy to see them," said Orochimaru. "You demon. They look just as the same as I remembered." Hiruzen let out a tears. "Have you ever felt the joy of fulfillment, of humiliate, of destroying the ones you once called Sensei?" "No, I suppose not." Boom! A loud explosion caught the two's attention. The smoke had cleared and standing there was a kangaroo who looked towards the barrier. "Kane-sama, throw me up towards the barrier," Naruto ordered, but Kane looked at him with a "you fucking serious" look, which Naruto returned a face that said, "Does it look like I'm joking?" look. Kane had wrapped his tail around Naruto and had threw him in the air towards the barrier. "I hope this works," Naruto praying. Naruto opened both his hand and had concentrated his chakra. Soon enough the clouds started to move and the wind was picking up. Naruto had then cocked his fist back. Fujin's hammer. Naruto had sended a powerful wind force which had left a big hole in the barrier. Wasting not time, Naruto was in next to the Sandaime. "That boy will become powerful as you were, Jin. Looks like my part is done." Kane had disappeared back home. In the barrier. "Gigi, you alright?" Naruto asked. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" The Sandaime surprised that Naruto had been able to get in. Saru, who is this young ninja? I sensed the nine tails chakra in him. Questioned Tobirama. This is Naruto Uzumaki, the third Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox. Hiruzen answering. And Uzumaki, just like Mito-chan, your chakra is just like her, so you must be her great-grandson. Hashirama smiling. But sensei, you and Mito-sama had 2 children and later you both were grandparents of 2 grandkids, Tsunade and Nawaki. Hiruzen confused. Yes, Hiruzen, that is true, but technically I really had 1 daughter and technically 3 grandkids. Said Hashirama. I don't understand? Hiruzen more confused. When Mito and I had our first child Serena at a young age, we enjoyed being parents, and were proud of it. Years later, during the time I was building Konoha Mito, and I decided to have another child, being the youngest from our first child. Doctors had pulled me aside and had told my DNA was nowhere to be found in Kira when she was born. The DNA of my clan were not as dominant, as the Uzumaki clan genes were powerful. When I asked the doctors of how was Serena Senju and Uzumaki if Mito DNA were dominated my own, they said there was a 1% possible chance that one of our child would balance the Uzumaki and Senju gene. Even though Kira was technically not my daughter, it didn't matter to me. Later, before I died, Kira had a daughter named Kushina Uzumaki. Like her mother, she was a full-blood Uzumaki too. The explanation shocked them. We may not be related through blood, but you are a part of Mito-chan. Hashirama smiled. We trust you can stop us, Naruto Uzumaki. Prepare yourself. Tobirama trusting the young ninja. Naruto had nodded as he was preparing for a long battle. Naruto, are you sure about fighting? Tobirama and Hashirama sensei were the most powerful Kages for a reason. Hiruzen asked. I'm in here already, so I can't leave, but most of all, don't be a fool, Gigi. Naruto said harshly, which Hiruzen never heard Naruto say. You may have been called the god of shinobi, but you're my comrade, my leader, my friend, my only family. Naruto preparing for battle. Hiruzen looked at Naruto stunned. This boy was no longer a loud-mouthed kid, but a ninja who truly has inherited the will of fire, just like his father. Minato Kushina, your son is on his way to become a legend. Hiruzen had then prepared himself. Biting his thumb, he went through some hand signs. Summoning Jutsu, Monkey King Enma. Soon enough, a puff of smoke appeared, and standing there was a large monkey. The body and tail is covered by white fur which protrude from his sleeves and pants. He has long unkempt white hair that reached into his back and long sideburns and a goatee. He wears a black suit with mesh armor underneath, over which he wears a sleeveless kimono shirt with white fur trimmings and markings reminiscent of tiger stripes on it, which is held closed by a red sash. It also wore a Konoha forehead protector. This was Enma, boss of the monkey contract. It's you again. Enma snarled. You fool, Sarutobi. You should have killed him when you had a chance. Enma said. Better late than never. It's too late. Enma said. Nothing is too late to stop him. Naruto stepped forward. Hiruzen, is that? Yes, this is Naruto Uzumaki. Sarutobi introduced Enma to Naruto. He looks like his old man got's guts too, just like him. Greetings, Naruto, I'm Enma, king of the monkey, boss of the monkey contract. Enma greeted Naruto. A pleasure, Enma-sama, but it looks like the further introduction will have to wait, as I see a dead man walking. Naruto held his sword in his right hand and in his left was his double spear-edged chain, locking his cold silver-blue eyes towards Orochimaru, which had sent him chills down his spine. I like this kid already, Hiruzen, let's go! Enma was now fired up. Right, transform Enma, battle mode. Right. Enma in a puff of smoke transforming into a black staff. Today you die, Orochimaru, Naruto declared. Chuckle, then come to me, Naruto, show me the power of Jin Otsutsuki. Orochimaru licked his lips as he commanded the Senju brothers to attack. Here they come, Naruto. Soon enough the ninjas had clashed. Last time on the last Uzumaki descendant. We may not be related through blood, but you are a part of Mito-chan. Hashirama smiled. We trust you can stop us, Naruto Uzumaki. Prepare yourself. Tobirama trusting the young ninja. Naruto had nodded as he was preparing for a long battle. Naruto, are you sure about fighting? Tobirama and Hashirama sensei were the most powerful Kages for a reason. Hiruzen asked. I'm in here already, so I can't leave, but most of all, don't be a fool, Gigi. Naruto said harshly, which Hiruzen never heard Naruto say. You may have been called the god of shinobi, but you're my comrade, my leader, my friend, my only family. Naruto preparing for battle. Hiruzen looked at Naruto stunned. This boy was no longer a loud-mouthed kid but a ninja who truly has inherited the will of fire just like his father. Minato Kushina, your son is on his way to become a legend. Hiruzen had then prepared himself. Biting his thumb, he went through some hand signs. Summoning Jutsu, Monkey King Enma. Soon enough, a puff of smoke appeared, and standing there was a large monkey. The body and tail is covered by white fur which protrude from his sleeves and pants. He has long unkempt white hair that reached into his back and long sideburns and a goatee. He wears a black suit with mesh armor underneath, over which he wears a sleeveless kimono shirt with white fur trimmings, and markings reminiscent of tiger stripes on it, which is held closed by a red sash. It also wore a Konoha forehead protector. This was Enma, boss of the monkey contract. It's you again. Enma snarled. You fool, Hiruzen. You should have killed him when you had a chance. Enma said. Better late than never. It's too late. Enma said. Nothing is too late to stop him. Naruto stepped forward. Hiruzen, is that? Yes, this is Naruto Uzumaki. Sarutobi introduced Enma to Naruto. He looks like his old man Guts too, just like him. Greetings, Naruto, I'm Enma, king of the monkey, boss of the monkey contract. Enma greeted Naruto. A pleasure, Enma-sama, but it looks like the further introduction will have to wait as I see a dead man walking. Naruto held his sword in his right hand and in his left was his double spear-edged chain. Locking his cold silver blue eyes towards Orochimaru, which had sent him chills down his spine. I like this kid already, Hiruzen, let's go! Enma was now fired up. Right, transform Enma, battle mode. Right. Enma in a puff of smoke transforming into a black diamond hardbow staff. Today you die, Orochimaru, Naruto declared. Chuckle, then come to me, Naruto, show me the power of Jin Otsutsuki. Orochimaru licked his lips as he commanded the Senju brothers to attack. Here they come, Naruto. Soon enough the ninjas had clashed. Now. Hiruzen vs. Hashirama. Katan, Dragon Flame Bomb. Hiruzen shooting out flaming explosive dragons. Hashirama had easily dodged the moves and had made a snake hand sign Mokutan wood tentacles. Multiple wood tentacles shot out towards Hiruzen. But Hiruzen had counter and smashed them as he twirled his now long transformed bow staff. Your skills have grown, Saruchan, Hashirama commented. Thank you, sensei. Hiruzen went through 4 hand signs. Katan, Dragon Flame Breathe. Hiruzen blowing out fire like flamethrower. Going through 2 hand signs, Doton, Earth Dome. A earth dome had surrounded Hashirama and had protected him from the attack. The flame had died down. Hiruzen saw roots growing around him. Soon enough Hiruzen was caught by a root branch wrapping around his ankles. Soon some trees had shot out of the ground, trapping Hiruzen inside the now dense forest. Hiruzen's hands and ankles were trapped and his companion Enma was trapped too. Hiruzen had struggled to break free but with no luck. Hashirama had broke out of his earth dome and ran to Hiruzen. Tree climbing the forest, he had charged at Hiruzen. Seeing his summoner in trouble, Enma used all the ounce of strength he had and had broke free from the roots. As Hashirama closed in, Enma had jumped out and spin kicked to the side of Hashirama's head, which had sent him through a tree deep in the forest. Wasting no time, Enma had ran to Hiruzen and had ripped the roots, freeing Hiruzen. Are you alright, Hiruzen? Enma helped up his summoner. I am now. Thank you, my friend. Hiruzen standing up. The Shodan was coming towards them. Let's go. Hiruzen ran towards his former sensei while Enma had changed back into his staff form, which was now large. Hiruzen smashed the staff into Hashirama's stomach and had turned around and swung his staff and had connected Hashirama's face, sending him crashing through the forest. Taking no rest, Hiruzen had threw Enma through the air and ran to where his sensei crashed and had unleashed another dragon breathe all around the forest where Hashirama was trapped. As he grabbed Enma, he had jumps out of the forest. He saw the whole place burn, trapping Hashirama. As the fire died down, Hashirama's body was nowhere to be found. There should be something left after the attack. Soon enough he had found the body, but the body turned to ashes as it revealed to be a Mokutan clone. Sarutobi had put up his bow staff up as he turned around and saw Hashirama's hand was glowing blue and had launched a punch towards him. Luckily the bow staff had protected him, but the force had sent him back. Hiruzen may had blocked the blow, but the amount of force had still had hurt his chest. Are you alright, Enma? Hiruzen asked his partner. Yeah, but the blow was hard. I thought for sure I would break. Panting Enma. So that's the legendary strength of Hashirama Senju. No wonder he was called the Shinobi no Kami. God of Shinobi. Hiruzen nodded. Yes, Hashirama Sensei was no pushover when it comes to battles. Let's hope Naruto is faring against Tobirama Sensei. Tobirama Sensei was also no pushover too, but he was a little more brutal, trust me. Hiruzen said, seeing his sensei speed towards them. Be safe, Naruto. Hiruzen wishing Naruto luck as he charged at his sensei with Enma. Naruto vs. Tobirama. Naruto was clashing blades with the Nidaime. Never had Naruto thought he would face off against or cross blade with the Nidaime Hokage and his Raijin no Ken. Sword of the Thunder God. As it turns out, the one that Tobirama was now wielding was the true Raijin no Ken. The other one that Aoi Rokusho had was made for small battles, but when the ninja war happened, Tobirama would take the sword. When he died, he had ordered the true sword to be buried with him, as if he knew something would happen to it in the future. Right now, Naruto and the Nidaime Hokage were pushing and attacking each other back and forth with their blades. Naruto's sword was light, so it was easy for him to attack from all directions to do slashes. But Tobirama was a pretty skilled sword user for a reason. He had blocked the multiple slashes that Naruto had sent. Soon their blade clashed, pressing against each other. Interesting sword you have, Uzumaki-san, commented the Nidaime Hokage. Thank you, Nidaime-sama. It was built by my ancestor Jin Otsutsuki, the first leader and the one who built the Uzumaki clan. So what Mito said was true. She had always said that the Rikudo Sennin had another brother, and that she was a direct descendant of him. I didn't believe her at first till she showed me the Uzumaki tablet. Tobirama jumped back. Uzumaki tablet? Naruto raised an eyebrow, confused, but didn't let his guard down. Yes, but I think you must read it and see it for yourself. Tobirama doing one hand sign as Naruto did too. Suetun, Water Dragon Jutsu. Both Naruto and Nidaime called out as they both summoned their water dragons. Both of the water dragons had collided, causing a big splash explosion, causing water to fall like rain. Hiton Ice Style, Wolf Fang Avalanche. Naruto said as he turned the rain to ice and formed a pack of 4 ice wolf and had commanded the pack to attack. The pack had went into different direction to attack. Tobirama had his sword and charged his chakra into it, causing the sword to be covered in white lightning. He had slashed the wolves in half left and right. A wolf behind Tobirama had bit his shoulder. Ignoring the pain, Tobirama threw the wolf and slashed it. The final wolf jumped at Tobirama. But Tobirama had stabbed the wolf, causing it to melt. You have perfect water control. I'm surprised someone else could match up with my own water control. Tobirama was also impressed of Naruto's ability of Hiton. He charged at Naruto. Naruto had put his sword away and now unwrapped his double-edged spear chain whip around his left arm. Naruto had started to whipping the chain around him, creating distance between him and Tobirama. Naruto had an opening and whipped the chain around him, forcing Tobirama to dodge the attack. Failing to see the attack, Naruto had tried roundhouse kick Tobirama, but Tobirama had caught his leg and had threw a punch to Naruto's chest, which had connected and had threw Naruto back. Tobirama had instantly vanished in a blink of an eye, causing Naruto's eyes to go wide in shock. Next thing happens, Naruto gets the wind knocked out of him as he looks and sees the Nidaime's foot drove into his stomach, sending him crashing across the roof. Naruto groaned as he got up, shaking off the pain. His vest was torn diagonally, leaving the top half gone. His hair was now running wild due to his hair tie gone. How did he? Naruto was confused until he saw his sword handle with a mark. That's jutsu was like Hiraishin, except he never left a trail or used a weapon to get closer. Naruto's body was healing at a fast rate thanks to Kurama. Thanks, Kurama. Naruto thanking Kurama. No problem, Kit. Be careful, Naruto. All summonings has a weakness. You just have to find it, said Jin. Yeah. But they're reanimated, so it's impossible to kill them, from what Kurama told me when I was learning under the month with the both of you. There is a way to destroy them, Kurama said. Naruto looked at Kurama. How? Naruto asked. I know a jutsu called the Dead Demon Consuming Seal, but it comes with a big price. The user not only sends the enemy's soul to the Shinigami stomach, where the soul is trapped forever, but the user's soul is also consumed after using the jutsu. Shocking Naruto. Or he can use the prayer to the Shinigami, said Jin. The prayer to the Shinigami? Questioned Naruto. Do you really think he can do it? Kurama questioned. What are you guys talking about? Naruto asked. Kurama turned to Naruto and answered. The blade you wield is perfect for the jutsu. The jutsu was called the prayer to the Shinigami. It was invented by your grandfather here. Kurama pointing his tail towards Jin. The jutsu was forbidden though. It's like the jutsu I mentioned, but the user does not die. However, using the jutsu you can seal the soul in your blade to sacrifice to the Shinigami, not just any souls but strong ones like the Senjus. If you fail to seal or sacrifice the soul, the Shinigami will devour the user's soul instead. Finished Kurama. Naruto was thinking of the big risk, but no matter what Naruto knew about sacrifice for the people they love or care for, just like the ninjas that are fighting in this war. How do I do the jutsu? Naruto asked as he had those determination eyes which gave Kurama a big grin and Gina. With Hinata. Hinata had broke through the sleeping genjutsu with her Byakugan and had awoken Kiba and Akamaru, while she carried her little sister. The four, which counted Hanabi and Akamaru, were heading to the hospital. How close are we, Hinata? Kiba running behind Hinata. Byakugan. Hinata activated her Byakugan, searching for the hospital. Where close, Kiba, wait. Hinata exclaimed at the end, stopping Kiba, which confused him until Akamaru had started to sniff and bark, which alerted Kiba as he sniffed. Hinata, I smell some Oto and Suna ninjas right behind us. I see some of them coming towards us. Hinata holding her sister tightly. Fuck, we're trapped. Cursed Kiba. Akamaru, let's get ready. Hinata, take your sister and hide, I'm gonna try to hold them off. Kiba said as he preparing, as his partner did too. Wait, Kiba. Kiba looked at Hinata as she handed him her little sister. I'm tired of always backing down and letting you or Shino protect me. I am tired of being weak. Hinata had activated her Byakugan with a lot of chakra, but something happened next. The lavender pupil had turned to blue with a blue and white flower like iris. I'm tired of hiding and running away. I'm going to stop running. Hinata burning with determination. Kiba looked shocked at Hinata. Never had he thought Hinata would have the courage to face the enemies head on. It seems Naruto's determination must have built Hinata a lot of confidence. The Suna and Oto ninjas came out and surrounded the four with their kunais out. Well, look what we have here. Couple of wannabe ninjas. One of the sound ninjas started to approach them. Stay back. Hinata warned the sound ninja coldly. But the man didn't seem to listen. I'm warning you or else. Hinata giving one last warning. This time the voice sounded colder. The sound ninja had then charged at Hinata. She had easily dodged and had delivered a four-palm strike to the sound ninja's chest, sending him crashing to his allies. All the ninjas had jumped and threw their kunais all around the four. Protection 8 trigrams 64 palms. Hinata whispered as she had started to spin and had created a sphere made from streams of chakra from her palms, which were thin and sharp around her, Kiba, Akamaru and Hanabi. The kunais were sliced to pieces as soon as they made contact. As she stopped spinning, 2 Suna and Oto ninjas ran towards Hinata and the other 4 charged at Kiba. Akamaru was in his Kiba transformation ready to defend his owner. Hinata had extended her arms out and had opened her palms and closed her eyes. As the Oto and Suna were close, her eyes snapped open and had glowed for a second as the enemies were repelled back by an unknown force. Hinata's eyes changed back to her Byakugan, but they deactivate as she dropped on her knees panting from exhaustion. Kiba had ran to Hinata by her side with Akamaru. Are you alright? Your eyes changed blue for a minute, what was that? Kiba helped up Hinata up. I don't know. I barely can remember anything. Hinata was too exhausted. Let's kill these kids and get it over with, one of the ninjas said as they charged at Kiba. Kiba and Akamaru were getting ready to use the Gotsuga. 8 trigrams their palm. 2 voices called out as the enemies were blasted away from a powerful gust of wind. Niji and Hayashi appears in front of Kiba and Hinata. Hinata-sama. Niji ran to help Hinata up. Are you alright? Niji helping Hinata up. Why yes, Niji isn't just exhausted. Hinata barely standing up. Kiba, Niji, take Hinata with Hanabi. I'll hold the enemies off. Hayashi ordered. But Hayashi-sama, no, Niji, go protect Hinata. Hayashi ready to hold the enemies off. Niji looked at him for a moment. Yes, Hayashi-sama. Niji carried Hinata while he looked at Kiba, and both had left to the hospital. The enemies were standing up and see Hayashi and had charged in without thinking. Hayashi had spun around and blew a sphere protecting him and had deflecting the enemies. You made a mistake in attacking the Leaf Village. Hayashi Byakugan blazing. Hayashi-sama. Ko and a bunch of other Hyugas ran besides him. Just in time. My clan, let's show the enemies why you don't attack the Leaf Village. Hayashi has declared. Hi. Many Hyugas charged at the enemies. With Sakura, Ino, and Choji. Sakura, Ino, and Choji were gathering all the civilians with the Jonins. When the invasion had started, she had broke free from the Genjutsu and had helped Ino and Choji out. They had planned to find Naruto at first, but the Jonins had wanted them to help gather the civilians to safety. They had saw the battle between a giant kangaroo and against a giant tanuki. They had saw Naruto riding the kangaroo towards the stadium. Stay safe, Naruto. Sakura silently wishing her friend luck and hopes to be alive. Hiruzen vs. Hashirama. Hashirama delivered a solid kick to Hiruzen, but he had turned to a log. Looking above, Hashirama saw Hiruzen coming down with his staff. He had blocked the attack, but it put him on one knee. Enma had then shot out a solid punch which sent him crashing. How you holding up, Enma? Hiruzen, knowing his partner must be sore after blocking so many attack. Enma changed back to his form, but he was on his knee as he was bruised up from body to face. I'll be honest, I'm sore as hell, and to tell the truth, I don't think I can last much longer. Enma said. There's one chance to stop Orochimaru madness, I'll have to use that jutsu. Hiruzen said while Enma's eyes went wide. Hiruzen, you know the price of using that jutsu. Enma warning Hiruzen of the consequences of using the dead demon consuming seal. I know, my friend. But I made a mistake years ago letting Orochimaru go, and I'm going to pay for it. But I won't go down until I drag Orochimaru with me. Hiruzen gripping his fist tight. Enma looked at his partner. Are you sure? Enma asked. The Sandaime nod. Enma looked at his long-time summoner. You may have been a foolish old man, but you were the best summoner to my clan for a long time. Let's finish this fight together one more time, Hiruzen. Enma transforming back to his stance form was. Right. Hiruzen charged at his sensei. Naruto vs. Tobirama. Right now Naruto had wrapped the chain around Tobirama and had started to swing and drag him around the roof. After a minute, Naruto had threw Tobirama against the barrier hard. But before the contact was made, Tobirama had again teleported again, causing Naruto to be on guard and beware of his surroundings. He had cut chakra of his ears and had closed his eyes. Feeling goosebumps on his back, he had quickly drew his sword. As he was drawing it, he had unleashed a wind slash as he turned around and saw Tobirama block the attack, but Naruto had not finished yet. He had swung and caught Tobirama's sword. Both ninjas were pulling each other back. At the moment, Naruto had added chakra to his muscles as he now pulled the sword with Tobirama towards him. As they were coming, Naruto had his right hand covered in wind chakra and had connect Tobirama's jaw, which had also shredded half his face and sent him crashing. I hope his works. Naruto on his knees holding his sword up with both his hands on the handle. Pages turning in the breeze. Names and dates written with ease. Creatures not worthy of breathe. Tobirama was reforming back. Each has chosen their own death. The sword was glowing a pale green color. The spirit that had been slain by your blade had met their fate as you consumed many greedy and innocent sacrificing souls. Tobirama grabbed his sword and had teleported. Corrupted souls will come as the blade I wield will be blessed upon by you, Shinigami-sama. Soon the sword had turned bright. As I slay the souls were forever, they shall be in the stomach of the Shinigami forever. Tobirama appeared with his sword using his move, the Flying Thunder God Slash. Amen. Naruto said quietly as he opened his eyes and had quickly and barely blocked the attack. Naruto had then started to again slash but had added his wind chakra to the tip, making it sharper. Naruto had attacked relentlessly as Tobirama was dodging and blocking the attacks. Tobirama had then returned with his own attacks, but Naruto had also blocked and dodged the attacks. Naruto shot his chain around Tobirama. But Tobirama had caught it, but another chain had wrapped around his left arm as a shadow clone emerged from the ground. Hold the chain. Another clone had emerged and had wrapped the chain around his right arm. Naruto had to do finish. He had quickly summoned a shadow clone and had told it to swing him and launch him at the night aim, which the clone complied as the clone added chakra to the muscle. He had grabbed Naruto and had started to swing him fast, and at that moment the clone had released him. Naruto brought his sword straight as he flew towards him. The blade had pierced Tobirama's heart, which shocked Tobirama. The body started to crumple away. You did well, Uzumaki-san. You truly possess the will of fire like Hashirama. Tobirama congratulate Naruto. Thank you, Naidame-sama. I'm very sorry for doing this. Naruto said with a little regret. It's alright, Naruto-san. Sometimes there are sacrifices for the greater good. Good luck, Naruto-san. Tobirama finally crumbling away and revealed to the Odo girl from the Chunin exams. Naruto had clenched his fist so tight the drew blood as his digged into his paws. Grandpa may need help. Naruto took off to help Hiruzen. Hiruzen vs. Hashirama. Sarutobi had blasted a fireball at Hashirama, which Hashirama dodged easily. Mokuton, smothering binding technique. Hashirama's arm had turned into several wooden tendrils capturing Hiruzen, but Hiruzen had turned into mud, indicating he had switched with the earth clone that he must had hid. Hiruzen appeared behind Hashirama and had slammed his bow's staff into Hashirama's back, but Hashirama's body turned to wood. Hiruzen was shocked and had barely dodged Hashirama's punch. But Orochimaru was behind Hiruzen and had kicked him in the back, sending the Sandaime away. Hiruzen was down, struggling to get up. His helmet was chipped, his long sleeve was torn from the right. Enma was back in his form, and just like Hiruzen, he was down. GG. Hiruzen turned and saw Naruto. Naruto? What happened between you and Tobirama-sensei? Hiruzen asked as Naruto helped him up. Long story short, I barely won, said Naruto. Hiruzen looked at the boy. There was not kidding. Tobirama was a powerful ninja, and looking at Naruto, it must have been a tough fight. Enma had stood up as Naruto helped him up. Are you still planning on using that jutsu, Hiruzen? Naruto got a confused look. What jutsu? Questioned Naruto. Hiruzen looked at Naruto. I'm planning on using the dead demon consuming seal on Orochimaru, Hiruzen told Naruto. Don't, GG. You know the price of using that jutsu, Naruto said. Hiruzen looked at Naruto confused. How do you know that, Naruto? The only ones who knew the price of using the jutsu are me, my student Jiraiya, and the fourth. No time, GG, we need a snake to skin. Naruto holding his sword ready to fight. Hiruzen looked at Enma, who nodded and transformed back into his weapon form. Naruto, let me handle Orochimaru. Naruto wanted to protest until Hiruzen glared at him. I made a mistake of not finishing him off years ago. All the blood he had spilled of the innocents are on mine as well. I will correct my sins and finish him off. No one will kill him but me. What Naruto looked and heard was no longer his surrogate GG. No, for a minute he heard Zero, the god of shinobi and one of the most powerful ninja in all the elemental countries. Naruto had decided to honor his GG decision. Alright, GG, come back alive. Naruto charged and Hashirama and had started to leading Hashirama away. Teacher and students were staring at each other, facing off. I guess it's just us now, sensei. No matter, I'll be glad to kill you with my own hands. Orochimaru opened his mouth wide as he summoned out his sword of Kusanagi. Hiruzen and Orochimaru had clashed. Naruto vs. Hashirama. Tell me, Naruto-san, how did you defeat my brother? Naruto looked down. I'm sorry, Shodaime-sama, but I used the ancient Uzumaki jutsu and sealed your brother inside my blade, but I must sacrifice it to Shinigami. I see. Hashirama looked down. Naruto had felt a load of guilt until. So you must had used the prayer to the Shinigami. Tobirama must knew of this. The Shodaime had unleashed a barrage of wooden spikes from underneath. Naruto had dodged the spike left and right and had did a backflip as a wooden spike was inches away from piercing him. While in the air, he went through some hand signs acid style, acid shower. Naruto spewed out slime of acid, but Hashirama had created a wood dome, but the acid melted it away, but Hashirama was not there. Looking below, he saw a wooden dragon come up at high speed. With no time to react, the dragon struck Naruto up in the air where he hit the roof barrier and had fell down. Naruto slowly stood up. His vest now was completely gone while his pants were a little torn. Naruto had to use his sword to support him to stand up. You are one amazing shinobi, Naruto-san. Hashirama commented and had rushed towards Naruto. Thank you, Shodaime-sama. Naruto finally stood up and had charged at the Shodaime. Both fists of the two shinobis had collided and both were pushed back from both powers colliding. Naruto had ran a flying kick which Hashirama dodged, but as he turned he had blocked a high kick, then unexpectedly another high kick which Hashirama barely blocked, then another high kick happened but it had connected jaw. Naruto had then jumped and added chakra to his feet as he spine kicked Hashirama's chest, which sending him away. Naruto was on his knees tired as hell and knew his chakra was running low. He has to finish this fast. A pillar shot out and struck Naruto's stomach, knocking the wind out of him. Hashirama had then launched a punch to Naruto's face, almost breaking his jaw. Naruto had crashed to the barrier wall. Damn, that punch hurt as hell. As he tried to not lose conscious, he saw multiple pillars coming towards him. He had barely dodged the attacks. Naruto had ran and had grabbed his sword and charged at Hashirama. Hashirama went through 4 hand signs Mokuton Ultimate Wood Dragon. Hashirama had summoned out a giant wooden dragon as the dry roared, and as it saw Naruto it shot toward him. Instead of running, he had went head-on towards the dragon. As both Naruto and the dragon clashed, Naruto was already slicing through the dragon. Naruto's sword was just slicing through the wooden dragon. Naruto charged full speed. Soon Naruto had completely sliced through dragon in half as he charged, but he didn't stop there as he jumped and had impaled the heart with the blade. Soon enough Hashirama was fading away. You truly have the will of fire within you. Your clan would have been proud. Your great-grandma Mito-chan would have been proud, and so would your mother. You will be a great Hokage one day, Hashirama giving one last smile as he crumpled away. The sword had collected the soul. Naruto had then went to find Hiruzen. Soon enough Naruto arrived but froze as he saw Orochimaru's Kusanagi through his surrogate grandfather chest, but what had shocked him more was he had saw him using the dead demon consuming seal, taking Orochimaru's arms as well as a part of his soul. GG. Naruto ran next to Hiruzen, but as he touched him he was cold. Naruto had tears coming down. The one person who was like family to him was gone. Damn you, old man. Orochimaru in anger but felt a large ki large enough to put the Bijou to shame. You did this. Naruto's right arm was now covered in a dense silver chakra. Orochimaru had tried to get away until his neck was wrapped up by a chain which was held by Naruto. Naruto pulled Orochimaru with force and had shattered his nose, then Naruto had pulled back the chain which brought Orochimaru back, and another punch was made. This was repeated 3 more times until the last punch broke the chain and had sent Orochimaru crashing. Orochimaru-sama. The Sound 4 dropped the barrier and had helped Orochimaru. We're leaving, the invasion has failed, retreat for now, I'll be seeing soon Naruto Uzumaki. Orochimaru and the Sound 4 escaped as Shinigami was fading. Wait, Shinigami-sama, I have a deal. The Shinigami had turned around as its pitch-dark eyes landed on Naruto. I don't deal with mortals. The Shinigami turned to leave. I wish to sacrifice Tobirama Senju's soul as I prayed to you when my sword was blessed, and I also have Hashirama Senju's soul. I want to exchange Hashirama's soul for Hiruzen Sarutobi's soul, Naruto said. The Shinigami had stopped and thought about it. If the boy did use that jutsu, he knew Tobirama's soul would be his. Hashirama was another rare soul the Shinigami admired. He made the decision. Very well, mortal, hold out your blade, ordered the Shinigami. Holding the sword up, the energy of souls he felt in the blade was being drained. Shinigami had opened his paw and had released a bright small ball. The bright light had shot into the Sandaime. Enma watched in awe as the stab wound was slowly healing, but what surprised him more was that Hiruzen started to look back around his 30s with no wrinkle or gray hair. Hiruzen groaned as he opened his eyes and sees his partner. Enma, what happened? Questioned the confused as the Sandaime groaned. You used the sealing jutsu and died, but it seems the kid somehow convinced the Shinigami to give back your soul plus you're younger. Enma helped Hiruzen. As the Shinigami faded away, Naruto fell forward, but the Sandaime caught Naruto around his back. Are you alright, Naruto? Yet tired Naruto drifted to sleep. The Sandaime chuckled. Rest, Naruto, you deserve it. Hiruzen and Enma met up with the other in the arena. Hiruzen and Enma appeared as the Chunin, Jounin, and Umbu gathered. But what shocked them was the Sandaime looked much younger. Pops? Asuma dumbfounded. Yes, Asuma-kun? How do you look younger? Asuma asked. Hiruzen didn't want to tell them about Naruto convincing the Shinigami to give back his soul. That would sound crazy. I don't know, Orochimaru had hit me with a weird jutsu, but I had counter it. But I'll worry about that later. What's the damage report, Tora? We lost some good Jounins, but most are alive, the rest are unharmed. The purple-hair Umbu reported. Hokage-sama, is Naruto-san alright? Asked Guy. Yes, he's fine, it's thanks to him I'm still alive. What do you mean, Hokage-sama? Asked Kurenai. Orochimaru had used the Edo Tensei and resurrected the Shodaime and the Nidaime, but Naruto had came through. Damn, that brat really is an unpredictable ninja, grinned Asuma. What are your orders, Hokage-sama? Questioned a Chunin. We gather our fallen comrades. In 2 days will be held a funeral. Hiruzen looking down a moment but had looked up, but we must be strong. Gather all the enemies, if it's Suna throw them in jail, if it's Oto send them to Ibiki and Anko. Ordered the Sandaime. Hi, the shinobi answered. I also the Sandaime would have continued if a leaf Shushin was appearing in the arena. Sasuke and Kakashi had appeared. Kakashi looked up with an eye smile for a moment. Yo, Kakashi stopped mid-sentence as he felt a lot of ki. As he opened his eye, he saw the stadium half destroyed and a lot of pissed off Anbu, Jounins and Chunins. But more effect was coming from the Sandaime. Laughing nervously, are we late? Kakashi asked. 3 days has passed since Oto invaded Konoha. A funeral was being held today for many of the ninjas who gave their lives to defend the village. The sky was gray and dull and had started to rain. Many people had shown up. All the Genins, Jonins, Chunins, Ambus, and even some of the civilians had attended. The Sandaime right now was giving a speech. We are gathered here to pay respect to the men and women who have gave their own lives to protect the village and to us. We may mourn for the loss of our comrade, but because of these sacrifices the will of fire has not burned out. Let us have a moment of silence. Hiruzen spoke as he put his head down. Naruto was wearing a long-sleeve button-up shirt, black pants and black sandals, and had his hair cut a little short, and had it tied and had a bandage on his cheek. Right now he was in deep thought. Is this what war causes? Naruto had many thoughts of the war. Naruto looked to his left and saw Hinata. Naruto knew Hinata lost some members of her clan as they had defended the village. He had put his hand on Hinata's shoulder, which Hinata turned and saw Naruto trying to comfort her. She smiled softly and mouthed thank you, which Naruto nodded and smiled, which made Hinata blush a little. Konohamaru stood next to Naruto and tugged his arm. Hey Naruto Nizan? Naruto looked down to Konohamaru. Why do people have to die just to protect us? I understand they to protect their family, but why us to strangers? Asked Konohamaru. The ninjas in the village don't just consider Konoha not just its home, but its family too. The people in the village are the strength of Konoha. Like you and the younger generation, without you or the villagers we wouldn't be here. Always protect your precious people, Konohamaru, like your Gigi. He may be Hokage, but a Hokage needs help sometimes. You'll always be unbeatable as long as you defend your precious people. Remember this. Naruto patting Konohamaru's shoulder. Konohamaru nodded. Iruka was behind Konohamaru and couldn't help but smile at his little surrogate little brother. It seems Naruto was truly on the road to become Hokage. 4 days later. It was bright and sunny day in the land of fire. Konoha was done being rebuilt back the same old good self. Soon enough word had spread all around the village about Naruto's fight against Gaara and how he defeated Shikaku, the one-tailed beast. A lot of ninjas and the civilians had then regretted their actions towards the now red blonde-hair ninja. If he truly was a demon, he would have let Konoha be destroyed or helped destroy it, but today a lot of people were wrong and now there were some big changes. With Naruto. Right now we find out favorite knucklehead Naruto done paying for a bag of fruit, meat and vegetables. Naruto took his grandfather's advice and decided to eat healthier, but he would have ramen once in a while. Thanks Rita-bachan, said Naruto. Oh no worry Naruto, said the elderly woman now known as Rita. She was a woman around her 50s with gray hair that was bun up. Back then Rita was the only food store that would sell food to Naruto. As a kid she also was an orphan growing up. So she knew how it was for Naruto. If it wasn't for her best friend Kushina, she would probably be somewhere dead or worse. She had knew Naruto was Kushina's son as soon as he started to do those pranks, as they were the exact same pranks that Kushina used back in the day. Oh how she missed Kushina. It even saddened her more when she left behind a bright ball of sunshine. No matter what happened, Naruto had never fell into darkness. He didn't lose that smile, that attitude and spirit. How does it feel? Rita asked, which confused Naruto. The glares are no more, most of the younger generation are looking up to you and the civilians are now respecting you, said Rita, which Naruto now understood. I don't really know Rita-bachan. I mean, I really didn't care what the civilians or what the others ninjas think of me. I always had believed in me when they say I can never be Hokage. Naruto then saw some kids playing and couldn't help but smile. But I'm kinda of glad the younger generation are looking up to me. So it feels kind of good, said Naruto, which made the elderly women smiled. Soon enough a Anbu in a lizard mask appeared. Naruto-san, the Hokage requests for you. Naruto nodded and had made a shadow clone and had it take the food home. I'll see you later Rita-bachan. Naruto saying goodbye as he disappeared in a wind-swirling shushin. That boy will be greater than his father, Rita smiled, saying to herself. In the Hokage's office. Hiruzen was on the couch giggling like a schoolgirl reading his orange book while his shadow clones was doing the paperwork. Since Sarutobi was younger again, he had gained back knowledge he had forgotten during the years he had gotten older. As soon as he remembered the effects of using shadow clone, he had instantly made multiple clones to do his work. "So what do you think of my new book?" a voice said. Hiruzen looked at the window, and sitting there was a tall man with waist-length, spiky white hair tied back into a ponytail, with two shoulder-length bangs that framed both sides of his face. He also had red lines that ran down from his eyes and wore a horned forehead protector with the kanji for oil. "Ah, Jiraiya. Yes, it's quite interesting. What can I do for you?" Hiruzen putting his book away. "Well, I came back just a few seconds before the invasion had begun. I was on a lead to Orochimaru and was led to Suna. I had then discovered the Yondaime Kazekage body in a ditch. I informed the Suna Council and they had no part in it as they denied it when the Kazekage brought it up. Suna was mostly lied to, and remember the shinobi were under the command of their Kage. It seems they want a new peace treaty now that the Yondaime Kazekage is dead, which can now help their village." Jiraiya informing his sensei. Hiruzen grunted in agreement. "I'm surprised you're not asking about my age like everyone else." "Well, when I heard about you looking young again, I thought you found the Jutsu Tsunade uses and was gonna ask you if you can teach me." Jiraiya laughed as he rubbed the back of his head. Hiruzen's sweat dropped. Soon enough, the entire stack of papers that the clones were working on were now flying everywhere and were blown away. Soon the swirling wind like tornado had stopped. Naruto had his hair tied where it was now down to his shoulders. He had his bangs around the side of his face. He had wore some dark red pants with a silver sash around his waist. He had on a pair of black sandals with his ankles taped up. He had a pair of gloves and was wearing a black long-sleeved tight black shirt which the sleeves were cut halfway, and had a pair of twin hooks around his back. "Hey Gigi, you called me?" Naruto asked. Yes, I want to introduce you to someone, Naruto." Jiraiya meet Naruto Uzumaki. "Naruto, this is Jiraiya the Toad Sage and is one of the members of the 3 legendary Sanins and was one of my students besides Orochimaru." Hiruzen introducing the two to each other. "You!" the two exclaimed as they pointed at each other. Hiruzen had sweat drop at this. "I take it the two of you have met?" Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. "Hell yeah! You're that pervert that was peeking on those women and Tsunami back in the wave." Naruto still pointing at Jiraiya. Flashback. Naruto was just walking into town after finishing his tree climbing exercise. He decided to walk around and see if he could find a ramen stand. 5 minutes later. With no luck, there was no ramen, leaving Naruto depressed, but later on as he walking around town he stumbled upon a new public bathhouse. With nothing to do, Naruto decided to take some time to relax. Naruto wore a pair of orange shorts and had got in the pool resting his head back. Now this was what he needed. Naruto's respect towards Kakashi have been dropping every day as he has been teaching the same bullshit teamwork exercise. Honestly, why was he put on this team he will never know. Just trying to block out those negative thoughts, he was interrupted by a giggle and had figured it was the girls, so he ignored it and closed his eyes until he heard it again. "Giggle, this will be a masterpiece for my next book." Giggle. Okay, that for sure was a perverted giggle, and he knows it wasn't a girl. Naruto slowly got out of the water and slowly peeked through a hole and sees a man with long white spiky hair. "This will be a masterpiece for my next book," Giggle the old man said as he was looking through his telescope. If there was one thing Naruto hated a lot, it was perverts. Especially when it's a creepy old man. Seriously, a old man peeking, who does that shit? Naruto silently made a shadow clone and had told him to go get his pouch and bring it, which the shadow clone rushed to do silently. As the clone came back with the pouch, Naruto looked through it and found his homemade ceramic paint grenade. It was loaded with paint mixed with low explosive powder, not enough force to kill but enough to do damage. Naruto had an evil grin, and when he had that look, you know the prankster from hell is unleashed. Naruto looked over his shoulder and still sees the perverted old man. Naruto takes out a match and sparks the bomb. Naruto waited for the right moment. As the bomb was halfway to go off, Naruto threw it and landed in the old man's scroll pouch. With Jiraiya. Jiraiya was still giggling and writing down his research as he puts it, but he had stopped peeking for a second as soon as he heard hissing. Looking around, he saw nothing until he smelled smoke and saw the bomb in his scroll pouch that had all his so-called research. Before he could stop it. Boom! The bomb had went off, and now Jiraiya was covered in all kinds of different colors, but that didn't stop there. The women had came out of the bathhouse to see what caused the explosion, but as a step out they see Jiraiya caught red-handed literally. "Eat pervert, get him," the women said, who revealed to be Tsunami. Jiraiya tried to book it but was caught and dragged away by the now bloodthirsty ladies that were ready to shred him. Jiraiya was crying anime tears as he was dragged. Before he met his fate, he saw a blonde boy that looked so much like his old student laughing at him. Before Jiraiya had say anything out, he was already getting a beatdown. Bone crunches and high-pitched screams were heard everywhere. End flashback. "And you're the little shit that destroyed my good research." Jiraiya also was still pointing his finger at Naruto. "You call an old man peeking at a young woman research, you filthy fuck," Naruto argued back. Hiruzen now had a major sweat drop. This was déjà vu for him. This was the same kind of reaction Kushina had when Minato had introduced her to Jiraiya. There was no doubt in his mind Naruto was truly Kushina's son. He may look like a mini clone of Minato, but he always had Kushina's attitude. Breaking out of his thought, he decided to break it up. Cough, Hiruzen had caught the two's attention. "The reason I called you Naruto was I want you to go with Jiraiya to find my other student Tsunade Senju. I had a feeling you would ask that, plus I was gonna ask the Gaki if he wanted to come. You need her to be the Godame Hokage?" "No, I'll be staying as Hokage," Hiruzen said. "You sure, sensei? I mean, you barely survived against Orochimaru, and with your age Jiraiya trailing off seeing if his sensei is understand." "Yes, I know. But after my fight with Orochimaru it had shown me I'm getting rusted, and it's time for me shape back up," Hiruzen said, lit his pipe as he smoked. "I won't place a burden on Tsunade, she's had lost a lot of people and to drop this on her is not fair to her. But I need her medical skills. I won't have my other student drown in her sorrows forever, and I will not let Hashirama-sensei's legacy be for not home. Tsunade will come back, tell her this is an order from her Hokage," Hiruzen said seriously in the end. Jiraiya shuddered at the way his sensei said ordered. He just hopes Tsunade has better control over her temper during the years, then again he doubts it. "Alright. So what do you say, Gaki?" asked Jiraiya. "I'm in Erosenin." Jiraiya's left eyebrow was twitching. That was the same nickname Minato used on Jiraiya. Hiruzen was holding his laugh as he fake coughed while he chuckled, which was difficult. "Cough, your mission will start today in 4 hours. Alright Gaki, pack whatever you need cause it'll be a long trip," Jiraiya told Naruto as he nodded. "Now excuse me gentlemen, I have some giggle research to do." Jiraiya shooshin away, leaving Naruto and Hiruzen's sweat drop. "Well, I guess I'd better get packing and make more ceramic grenades," Naruto said, about to leave. "Hold on Naruto, I called you here for another reason," Hiruzen said, which confused Naruto. Hiruzen went into his drawer and taking out a scroll and tossed it to Naruto. Naruto caught the scroll and looked at Hokage confused. "That was for you when you made Chunin. It was a request from your mother." Naruto's eyes were wide looking at the scroll. "From my mom?" asked a shocked Naruto. Hiruzen nodded. "Just swipe it with your blood and it should open." Naruto took off his right glove and bit his thumb and swiped the scroll. The scroll opened and popped out was a red Chunin vest, but it was combat design with little metal plates around the body with the Uzumaki clan symbol, a key, and a picture of a redhead beautiful woman who wore a white high-collared sleeveless blouse with a green long loose-fitting dress over it, and had a pair of Geta, Japanese sandals, but what stood out the most was her bulged stomach. Then there was a letter. "Dear Naruto, if you're reading this, then you have made Chunin and I'm proud of you. This is your mother Kushina Uzumaki. I'm so sorry for leaving you behind so early just after you were born. You were an angel as I saw you. You were perfect. I bet you have questions. Well, I'll tell you a few things before I leave. I was born in Yuzushiogakure, the village hidden in the whirlpools. I was princess of our clan, the Uzumaki clan, when the village was close to destruction. My grandmother Mito Uzumaki, who was the leader of our clan and was the first Jinchuriki of the Kyubi no Kitsune. She was getting to the age where the Kyubi would break free. I was scared when they told me I would be the next Jinchuriki because of my special bloodline that would hold Kyubi. But your grandmother was there for me. After the transfer was finished, my parents sent me to Konoha with my guards. When I arrived, I was nervous and scared for a while. I was being picked on a lot by the boys because of my red hair, and they had called me Tomato, but I sure did make them regret saying that nickname as I turned them into Squash Tomato." Naruto sweat drop at his. "Then later I had became known as the Red Hot Habanero. Months later I was kidnapped by Kumo as they had found out about my bloodline. I had left a trail of my hair and see if anybody would find me, but we were close to the border. I was ready to lose hope, but luckily your father came and had saved me, as he was the only one who knew I was the only person to have red hair in Konoha, and he had said, Your hair is a red thread of destiny. That night me and your father fell in love and years later you came. Time is almost up for me. The key you have is to the Uzumaki compound. The vest you have I made as I somehow knew you would make Chunin. Call it a mother instincts. Our clan's scroll are in a secret stash vault in our home. Kurama will be there to help you too, and I know somewhere great Gigi is watching over you. Remember to stay strong, I'm proud of you, and I know your father is too. Goodbye, my little angel. Love always and forever, Kushina Uzumaki Databayo. The paper had teardrops as Naruto had tears streaming down his face. Great Gigi, Kurama, did you know her? Jin sighed sadly. Yes, I did. I was with her for a few years until she left. You definitely have her spirit and attitude. She was probably the second best host. We didn't get along at first, but years we grew close, and soon it became a brother and sister bond. When she found out she was pregnant with you, she always came to see me and always talked about you. Naruto smiled as he wiped his tears away. Are you alright, Naruto? Hiruzen put his hand on his surrogate grandson's shoulder. Naruto finally brushing off the last tears away. Yeah, old man, I'm okay. Naruto smiled. Hiruzen smiled and nodded. Good. I think you should get going. Naruto nodded, but before he left he turned to the Sandaime. Who was my father? Asked Naruto. Hiruzen frowned and looked away. I'm sorry, Naruto. I cannot tell you till you're Jonin. It was your father's wish. You understand. Hiruzen pat the boy's shoulder. Naruto looked hurt for a second but smiled as he understood. Alright, Gigi. When I make Jonin, that means I'm one more step away from being Hokage and taking that hat. Naruto grinned, making Hiruzen chuckle. I don't doubt you, Naruto. Now you should get home. Naruto nodded as he disappeared in a wind shushin, destroying again the other papers. As Naruto left, Hiruzen clones had finished the paper, and thankfully the others were blown away. He wonders why didn't things like that happen when he was old, but no matter. As Hiruzen dispatched his clones, he returned to his desk while he smoked his pipe. He turned on a serious face, and had snapped his fingers, which summoned Umbu. Bor, tell Kakashi Hatake to report my office in 5 minutes, and tell him if he is late he'll be spending time with Anko and her pet snake, and I know it's been a while since Anko's snake pet had lunch, said the Hokage. Gulp, why yes, Hokage-sama, the scared Umbu said as he shushin away. Naruto's apartment. Naruto had summoned multiple shadow clones and had them start packing stuff and moving them into the Uzumaki compound. The real Naruto was just done changing into his Chunin red vest. Underneath he wore a black long-sleeve tight black shirt, and had slipped in a pair of black pants with the silver sash around the waist. He had written a storage seal on his wrist that had stored multiple shaped hoop disc razor edge that he made called the chakram. Chakrama is a weapon used by warriors called the Rajput warrior. He had grabbed his twin hooks and placed them behind his back and had sealed his Gamachan toed wallet. As he opened the door to head out, he was faced with a pair of lavender eyes at the doorstep, which revealed to be Hinata. Oh hey Hinata, what you doing here? Hi, and Naruto-kun, how are you? Hinata asked as she looked down, and shuffled her feet nervously and was blushing a little. Seems she's improved a little, she doesn't stutter as much, that's good. She still is kinda cute when she blushes. Naruto smiled to himself. Kid, I gotta admit you got yourself a good eye, she's gonna be a fine mate in the future. Kurama grinned as Naruto blushed and was sputtering. I have to agree with you, Kurama, he sure did have a good eye. Jin also grinned. Guys, stop. Naruto whined. Naruto, are you okay? Hinata concerned as she tilted her head slightly, which made her more cute. Now Naruto was blushing but hid it quickly. Yeah, I am okay, Naruto cursed himself for that stuttered. Oh, okay. I heard you're going to find Tsunade-sama with Jiraiya-sama, Hinata said as she was now looking at Naruto. Yeah, Gigi wanted me to help Ero-sennin find her. Ero-sennin? Hinata blushed at the name. I'll tell you later. Actually, I was on my way to your compound, I wanted to talk to your father. And my Tusan. Well, he's not busy, I can take you to him, Hinata said, as she was curious and confused. Why or what did Naruto want to talk to her father about? Thanks, Hinata. Shall we get going? Naruto asked Hinata as she nodded. He had grabbed what he needed and left with Hinata. Under Konoha underground. A frail, old man with a cane. He had black, shaggy hair, and his right eye bandaged. Danzo has had an X-shaped scar on his chin. He wore a white shirt, with a black or dark gray robe over the top of it covering from his feet to just over his right shoulder. The robe concealed his right arm, which was bandaged, and covered with 3 large golden braces. This was Danzo Shimura. Report, Beetle commanded Danzo. Yes, Danzo-sama. It seems rumors were true. Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, had defeated the Ichibi as he summoned a kangaroo to battlefield. He had then helped the Sandame defeat the reanimation of the Shodame and Nidame Hokage and fend off Orochimaru. Today the Jinchuriki is leaving to help Jiraiya-sen find Tsunade Senju. The Root Umbu reported. Danzo was in deep thought. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki is getting stronger, the reports from the finals exams do not lie, he may be a problem in the future. I'll have to have my men watch him closely. Orochimaru didn't get the job done. Damn you Hiruzen, no matter, the time will come and Hiruzen will fall and I will rise and so will this village. I want you to keep an eye on the Jinchuriki. You can never be spotted. Now with Jiraiya around it will become difficult. So watch him careful. Dismissed. Danzo commanded. Yes, Danzo-sama. The Umbu disappeared and Danzo went back into the shadows. The Hyuga Compound Dojo. In the dojo, Hanabi was sparring against Niji as Hayashi watched. Niji had changed dramatically when Hayashi had revealed to Niji the truth about his father chose to sacrifice himself not because he was forced to but he chose to. Hizashi had wrote and told Niji to be happy and make his own destiny and fate as he did when he chose to sacrifice himself for not just for his clan but for his brother and family. Since then he has been helping both Hanabi and Hinata and so far he too improved little by little. That's enough. Hayashi commanding the two to stop. Both Niji and Hanabi separated, panting. You did well, both of you. You've been improving, keep it up, Hanabi. Hayashi commented. Thank you too, Sama. Hanabi bowed to her father. Niji, nicely done, you seem to improving after the exams. Hayashi said. Thank you, Hayashi-sama. Niji bowed. As Hayashi was about to speak, his guard Ko had came in and bowed. I apologized, Hayashi-sama. But Hinata-sama has arrived with Uzumaki-san and he wishes to have a conference with you. Ko informed Hayashi. Hayashi had knew Hinata's crush on Minato's son and had no objection to it, but the damn elders always had threatened the Branch family to use the seal on them if they wouldn't keep Hinata away from Naruto. But when she had made genin, the elders couldn't threaten them as she was considered an adult. But right now, what could Minato's son want to talk about? Thank you, Ko, you're dismissed. Ko dismissed himself. Niji. Bring Uzumaki-san to my office and tell Hinata to wait outside my office, will you please? Hayashi said. Yes, Hayashi-sama. Niji bowed as he left. Hanabi, head to your room, rest for today. Hayashi told his daughter. Yes, too, Sama. Hanabi bowed as she left the dojo. Niji was leading Naruto to Hayashi's office while Hinata was feeling nervous. Knock knock. Hayashi-sama, I brought Naruto-san. Niji informed. Send him in. Hayashi said. Niji opened the door as Naruto walked. Bowed. Niji had closed the door and waited with Hinata outside the office. Hello, Hayashi-sama, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'm sorry for coming on such short notice. I would have asked the schedule to meet with you, but with the village rebuilding, Naruto said. It's alright. You got me at the perfect time. Tea? Hayashi offered. Yes, please. Naruto accept the offer. As Hayashi poured the tea. So is there something you want to discuss with me? Hayashi finished pouring the tea. Both had slowly sipped their tea. This is nice tea. Naruto commented. Thank you? Hayashi said. Yes, I wanted to talk to your daughter Hinata. Naruto said as he held his tea. Hayashi raised one eyebrow up. Yes, what about Hinata? Hayashi asked. Well, I'm leaving with Erosenin to find Tsunade. Naruto stopped when he saw Hayashi coughed his tea out. As soon as Naruto said Erosenin, Hayashi knew instantly it was his sensei, but hearing that nickname being brought back made him laugh, but he had coughed to hide it. Hayashi-sama, are you alright? Naruto asked, kinda concerned. Cough, yes, Naruto-san, I'm okay. Hayashi regained himself. You must be talking about Jiraiya-sensei. How did you know that it was him? Naruto confused. Chuckle, well, back in the day I was one of his 3 students. Along with his 2 students. The Yandame Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. Hayashi said, surprising and shocking Naruto. You knew my mom? Naruto asked. Yes. She was a prodigy like no other when it came to Fuinjutsu and Kenjutsu. She was a prankster too. They called her the Queen of Pranks. It was mentioned but only ones closest to Kushina knew. I remember the day she had earned a nickname everyone was afraid, and to this day the nickname the Red Hot Habanero still gives you chills in your spine. Hayashi shivered, recalling the day Kushina had sent those boys to the hospital when they had made fun of her hair, but soon they felt the wrath of the red-hot habanero. Naruto shivered just thinking about the victims that suffered his mother's wrath. Continue, Naruto-san. Hayashi bring the discussion back. Well, as I was saying, I'm going with Jiraiya to find Tsunade Senju, and I want your permission to take your older daughter Hinata with me? Naruto bowed. Hayashi was not surprised by this request. I would like ask why? Hayashi questioned as he raised an eyebrow. I want to help your daughter. I understand losing your wife was hard and you wanted best for your children. I want to help Hinata to prove to those stuck-up elders that Hinata is a strong ninja. I know they're mostly the reason why Hinata has confidence issues, and I'm not gonna let them push her farther. She's had enough crap in her life and I won't stand by and watch this happen. I want help Hinata, Hayashi-sama. Naruto giving his answer. Hayashi looked at the boy and couldn't help but give a ghost smile. Hayashi had breathed. Very well, Naruto-san, I give you permission to take my daughter Hinata with you and sensei, Hayashi said. Naruto remained calm and bowed. Thank you, Hayashi-sama. Naruto stood up as he was about to leave. Before you leave, Naruto, would you mind give this to sensei for me? He'll know what it is. Hayashi gave Naruto a green scroll. Naruto nodded as he bowed once again and left. Good luck, Naruto-san. I hope you come back strong, Hinata, Hayashi said to himself. In the Hokage's office, Hiruzen had serious look as he glared down at the one-eyed jounin Kakashi Hatake. Now Kakashi, I'm gonna ask you questions and don't give me some bullshit excuses because I am not in the mood, Hiruzen sternly said. Kakashi slowly nodded as he knew the Hokage was dead serious. Ever since he was late at the end of the invasion, a lot of the Jonins and Chunins and Umbus were still pissed at Kakashi as he showed up at the end of the invasion. Some had lost relative or friends, which made his reputation had dropped low. Kurenai, Enko, Asuma and Guy were disappointed in him and had questioned his status as a sensei for Team 7. Even half of the civilians' population had lost respect towards him. First, where were you when the invasion began? Hiruzen questioned Kakashi. Hokage-sama, I was teaching Sasuke at the Fire Canyon, Kakashi answered. What about Naruto? I had thought you would train him too? Eyes narrowed. Hokage-sama, I had to train Sasuke as he was facing a dangerous opponent. And what of Naruto? He was facing last year's rookie, not to mention someone who had no trouble almost killing their cousin. You know well how dangerous the Jukin is, especially handled by a prodigy. Did Naruto even come to you and ask to train him? Hiruzen didn't like Kakashi's answers so far. Yes, he came to me and asked if I could train him. Kakashi trailed off. Yes, what happened? Hiruzen tapped his finger on his desk impatient, as he didn't like Kakashi trailing off. I told him I couldn't because I had to train Sasuke to face Gaara, Kakashi said nervously. Is there more? The Sandaime said dangerously. I told him he should give up and try next time. Kakashi barely stood conscious as the Hokages flared up a strong ki. Hiruzen stood up and slammed his hands on his desk, leaving a dent mark. Kakashi Hatake, where do you go off putting down your own student? Especially Naruto, who had suffered 14 years of his life keeping the Kyuubi at bay. He mastered a B-rank Kenjutsu in only a few hours. He stopped a Jonin traitor and defeating the branch family's prodigy, and especially defeating the Ichibi. Do I need to keep going? The Sandaime angrily shouted. Soon he sat back down and took a deep breath out of his pipe. Not only that, but if it wasn't for Naruto, I would be dead. Kakashi looked at the Sandaime confused until the Sandaime continued. Orochimaru used a Kenjutsu and brought back the Shodaime and Nidaime. Hiruzen saw the shocked look at Kakashi as he saw his one eye go wide. Naruto had barely defeated the Nidaime Hokage while I fought the Shodaime. Orochimaru had interfered my fight against the Shodaime, but luckily Naruto came through barely alive. Hiruzen finished. Kakashi had a look of shock and disbelief. Did Naruto, the dead last of his class, really defeated two of the most powerful ninjas in the Element Nation? I've been looking over the reports from the wave. Hiruzen pulled out a folder and slammed it on his desk. Again he was pissed. What were you thinking? Teaching tree climbing was supposed to be the first thing the Genin's team do. You had months to do it. What were you doing at that time? Hiruzen now was pissed than ever before. Kakashi was sweating like a pig now. But back to the main reason now, continue on and it better be good. Hiruzen ki was lowering but was rising slowly again. I was teaching Sasuke Chidori, and he had matured his Sharingan, and I got so surprised and I was lost in my thoughts. I honestly thought the exams would be the next day. Now the shit hit the fan. The Sandaime Ki flared so much that the ground beneath him cracked. Kakashi Hatake, I'm so disappointed in you. You promised me the Hokage. That you would watch your students, but it seems you care for the Uchiha more, that you would even teach him a dangerous A-rank jutsu. I don't know who trained Naruto, but whoever it was, if it wasn't for him or her, Naruto would have died. Kakashi looked down in shame. Kakashi, you're demoted to Chunin, Hiruzen said, shocking Kakashi, but it didn't stop there. You'll be doing D ranks for 1 year. You will not be allowed to take BA mission during your punishment. Once your D rank punishment is finished, you will be under C rank missions for another year. Your paycheck will be cut in half. You will be doing guard shift duty twice. You will not be allowed to read your book. Hand over your Jonin vest. The Hokage finishing Kakashi punishment. Kakashi took off the flat jacket Jonin vest, handing it to the Hokage. What will happen to Team 7? Kakashi asked. As much as it hurts me, Team 7 is disbanded. Naruto is Chunin and will be an apprentice under my student Jiraiya. Sakura will be with Team 8 as she will take Shino's spot as he made Chunin when he helped against the invasion. Sasuke will be with Team 10 to take Shikamaru's place as he too made Chunin. Now is there anything else, Kakashi? Kakashi shook his head. Dismissed. The Sandaime dismissing Kakashi as he walked out holding his head down in shame. Dango store. 2 men were sitting down. One was tall and the other was short. Both had wore straw hats and had black cloak with red clouds with a ring around their finger. But the tall one was carrying a bandage-up object on his back. Hey, did you hear? A civilian asked his friend. Hear what? Naruto Uzumaki is with Jiraiya the Toad Sannin. Apparently they're going to a town Tanzaku to bring back the slug Sannin Tsunadeheim. Wait, you mean the boy that defeated the Hyuga prodigy? Yeah, I was there, I saw the whole match. I guess we were wrong about him. Yeah, we were, but Konoha's slug princess returns soon. The 2 men heard the conversation. What do you know, it seems we found out target already, wouldn't you agree, Itachi? Said the tall man. The short one looked up, and as he opened his eyes, which were red with 3 tomos around. So I seems? Itachi said emotionlessly. As the 2 left the dango shop, they did notice 2 shadows were following them. Same as Canyon Kakashi in a coma and all that. Kisame, we must retreat, Itachi said. What, come on, the fun just began. Kisame, disappointed that his fight had to stop. The Sandaime is coming, and so are multiple Umbus. We already found out target. Fine. Kisame put his sword away. Both had disappeared in a shushin. Asuma, what happened? Hiruzen appeared with the Umbus. Me and Kurenai fought missing ninjas Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hashigaki. We barely held our own, and it seems Itachi did a number on Kakashi, said Asuma as the medics carried Kakashi. Thereafter Naruto. Jiraiya had gave me a report organization called the Akatsuki a while ago. Their main goals is to collect the bijus. Shocking everyone. I didn't expect them to start moving soon, and I have no doubt they know where Naruto is. Hiruzen turned to his Umbus. Take Kakashi Hatake to the hospital. I want this place secured. Umbu, scout around the village, but be careful. We've just recovered from Orochimaru's invasion, and the last thing I don't need is the civilians panicking. Hiruzen commanded. Hi, Hokage-sama. The Umbu scouted. Naruto, please be safe. Hiruzen wishing his surrogate grandson comes back safe. On the road with Jiraiya, Naruto, and Hinata. So do you have any idea where this Tsunade lady is at? Asked Naruto. Yes, she's in a town called Tanzaku. The perfect place to drink, gamble, have fun with the ladies, Jiraiya said as he was now daydreaming and giggled. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Did you really train the Yondaime Hokage? Naruto questioned Jiraiya in the tone that said, is this guy for real? Snort, Gaki, have you ever heard the phrase respect your elders? Jiraiya fired back. You're a perverted elder is what you are, Naruto said in a deadpan voice. Hinata was gonna try to calm the situation. We shouldn't argue, Hinata said while blushing. Gaki, your girlfriend is right. At least someone knows respect, said Jiraiya. Hinata and Naruto blushed at the girlfriend comment. She's not, she's just. Whatever you say, Gaki. Jiraiya continued walking. You didn't answer my question. Did you actually train the Yondaime Hokage and my mom? Naruto asked. Jiraiya sighed as he knew he would ask that end part. Yeah, I did. She was a prodigy in Fuinjutsu, better than me. But she was a monster when it came to Kenjutsu. The Yondaime Hokage was also one of my best students along with your girlfriend's father. Jiraiya replied, which shocked Naruto and Hinata. Why you trained my father? Asked a stutter Hinata. Sure did. Your father was a hard worker like Yondaime and the Gaki mom, said Jiraiya. So Gaki, I wanna ask you something. Asked Jiraiya. What is it? Naruto answered. How would you like to learn a jutsu made by the Yondaime Hokage? Jiraiya smirked as he saw Naruto's eyes and face in disbelief. What is it, Jiraiya-sensei? Naruto asked as he was excited. Jiraiya held out his hand and had gathered the chakra around his palms. Soon blue chakra was spiraling around. Soon it had become dense and was the size of a baseball. The Rasengan. The first jutsu that the Yondaime Hokage made on his own and was one of his other signature move other than the Hiraishin. He had got the idea from the Bijou Bomb. I'll show you the effect it does. Jiraiya saw a boulder and had charged towards it. Rasengan! Jiraiya shouted as he hit the rock with the sphere-like chakra and had blew the rock to chunks. And there's your result. Jiraiya smirked. Naruto and Hinata were blown away. To see the Yondaime Hokage's signature move and seeing the damage it can do to an enemy. This was the golden opportunity for Naruto. What do I need to do, Jiraiya-sensei? Naruto asked respectfully. Jiraiya had a grin on his face. Jiraiya threw Naruto a water balloon which Naruto caught and looked at Jiraiya confused. The first step is to pop that water balloon. There are 3 steps to complete the Rasengan, but don't give your hopes up if it takes you long. The Yondaime took 3 years to make the Rasengan. But as I was saying, the first step is to pop it but try to spin the water inside in multiple directions with only your chakra. Jiraiya explained. Naruto looked at the balloon and had tried it but no success. Like I said, it takes a while. It took me about 6 months to complete it, and I'm a Sannin, said Jiraiya. Naruto had not given up. He again tried it but no success. Hinata wanted to help up but waited if Naruto would ask her. Hey Hinata, you think you could help me? Hinata blushed. Sure, and Naruto-kun, she had did a hand sign. Byakugan. Hinata activated her Byakugan. She sees the water flowing. Try to add more chakra, said Hinata as Naruto added chakra. The water started to spin. It's spinning, try to add a little more chakra. Naruto had listened to Hinata's instruction and had obeyed. Focusing, he closed his eyes and added a little more chakra. Try to expand your chakra out, suggests Hinata. As he expanded his chakra, Hinata saw the spirals bouncing off the balloon inside. Pop. Naruto opened his eyes and saw the balloon popped. Hey look, Erosen, I got it. Naruto happy with the results. Hinata had smiled as she was happy for her crush. Jiraiya face fault. You little gaki, what happened to Jiraiya-sensei? That'll be the day you stop peeping, which is never. Naruto said deadpan, which made Jiraiya face fault again and had made Hinata giggle. Jiraiya mumbled about the disrespectful younger generation. So what's the next step, sensei? Naruto deciding to give his sensei a break from the name. Hold on Gaki, wait until we head to town, I gotta check in with my spy network. Naruto groaned but then thought about Hinata. Oh Hinata, I almost forgot to ask you something. Kiba was talking to me and said something about your eyes had glowed blue during the invasion. What happened? Asked Naruto. Hinata blushed as she poked her fingers together. Well, I don't remember. The only thing I remember was Kiba telling me to run and take Hanabi, but I told him I wasn't gonna run away because I was tired of being weak and hiding and because I know you wouldn't run away. Hinata blushed more at the end. But when I activated my Byakugan, my memory is blank and the next thing I know Niji Nizan is helping me up. Hinata explained. Wait, how are things between you and Niji now? Questioned Naruto. Gee, good, we're closer like we were before he changed. Thank you, Naruto. Hinata said. Hey, someone had to knock his ass down and show him that you can control your own life, but I'm glad for the both of you. Smiled Naruto, which Hinata smiled back. Giggle. Naruto and Hinata had turned around and see Jiraiya writing something on a notepad. Jiraiya looked up to see Naruto's right eyebrow twitch while Hinata blushed. Come on brat, you're a goldmine. Jiraiya writing more. Naruto quickly took the twin hook from his back and had put them together and had sliced the note in half. Jiraiya stood frozen the same way looking at Naruto. UGKI, that was the best research I ever had, shouted Jiraiya as he was mad. Like I care, Erosenin. You're not using me or Hinata for your so-called research, aka your perverted books, said Naruto. HMPF. We're close to a town, Jiraiya said as they were close. Jiraiya